Okay, hello there. I'm just gonna wait for a moment. There we go. I'm gonna be quiet so I don't get the loot back. And we're recording. Excellent. So, here is the story. This is my first time streaming on Twitch. I'm not exactly sure how this all works. I've gotten this far and I can't postpone this task any longer. A few days ago I was very bored, so I started multiple correspondence games on chess.com. There were 108 games, and right now we're down to 66. Also, at that point when I began, my stats were rather low. You see over here? Down here, 1133, 1133. And a friend of mine watched the special, what was that, the Queen's Gambit. The Queen's Gambit, and she called me up and she was like, I'm really inspired, play me in a few games of chess. And that's what got me back in to playing chess. Well, without any more bloviation, let's just jump in. Okay, here we go. This is Stalperfal. He's 977, and looks like we started off with Karo Khan as usual. That's my general black opening. And if you're out there thinking to yourself, this guy doesn't know how to play chess, well, that's the point, isn't it? I'm trying to reach 1300. That is my goal. And so here we are, and this pawn that's out is protected. He brought his queen out unprovocated. I'm gonna continue with, well, I'm gonna go to G4 in the hopes that he will, how do you do this now? Right click. Yeah, G4. He'll try to chase me. He'll try to chase me. When he does that, and I'm here, I run back here, I'm here, then I'll move to this particular spot with my bishop, move up the pawn, and find myself in this little cubby hole with a nice diagonal. Also tearing apart his kingside pawns. He could also just respond by attacking with the bishop. We will know in a few hours when we come back to this, so that's my move. Alright, this next game, definitely the end game. I'm not winning. This is my king struggling. Now this player is 1232, I'm 1238. My king can move here, start to try to go all the way around. Now if this square and this square stops my king from, I have to go up this way. And his knight now reigns supreme. He can come here and then here. And there's not much I can do here. My only hope is that this individual makes a mistake. I'm not going to resign because he might make that mistake. He might. My path here, as you see, I've got to get myself to here, dodging his knight as it destroys my back pawns. This is a losing position, but let's continue with that. Hopkes is the name of the opponent here. Here we have a game where the limits of my understanding come into play. It's a castled king. You really can't break in there with ease unless you sack a piece, and you're going to sack a piece if you're up a piece. Don't think... I'm down 2 pawns, and you see we're aiming. We're just aiming at this king, and nothing's going on. This is a fianchetto. He hasn't uncovered his bishop yet, although he could come out here and start creating havoc. Are there any pieces that are on his side that are hanging? I mean, no. This pawn is protected by the rook. This is protected by pawns. This is protected by the queen, only the queen. This is protected by the bishop, protected by the pawn, protected by a pawn, protected by a rook, protected by the king, protected by a pawn, protected by the king. It would be good if I can get my queen in here. As a matter of fact, I do think I see something. If I get my queen to e4, pinning down this knight and this rook, which is actually not protected by anything, it's just hard to get to. And if he believes, if Fidheli is the name of the opponent, who's 1104 rating, if he thinks that this is what I'm concentrating on, he might just miss this checkmate. I doubt it. I think he will in the end move his pawn up. Queen can still get in. I think that's it. I think that's it. I really do. But what is this person aiming to do? They're eyeing this knight, but that's protected by my bishop. They're eyeing down this pawn, which is currently pinned because of this to my king here. This knight can move a number of places. Fairly useless. Fairly useless. It's not going in either one of these positions. I might not have analysed this position as much as I could or should, but I feel rather confident that this move is going to be the best move for now. He could just attack right there. If my queen is here and he attacks with this rook, then we go into this mode. I just realized if he goes here, that means my queen has just got to run away. There'll be no hope, and then I've got to find another way of attacking. We will get to that. There is this square. If my queen moves from here to d5, then we have, the knight can attack and die, but then we'll be pinning. If we sack this knight and it's taken by this rook, the rook will be pinned. But for what? To what end would it be pinned? And it would be only pinned. Maybe you can't bring the bishop in. So anyway, whatever. This is the move I'm making. Let's move on. Okay. All right. I can't take these rooks. These rooks are connected. I must have been over here. Some mistake that they made. I haven't castled. We're fairly even in pieces here. The king again is castled. He's rather safe at the moment. My bishops and my knights are gone. We could make this move, but I don't. He's already got an open file. He can just take. I take. I'm protected. I'm not sure. We got these rook and queen aiming down here. If we were to castle, you'd be aiming at the wrong thing, mate. Aside from that, this pawn is protected by the queen, and my queen is open for an attack right here. So kind of want to get this knight out and castle over here. Actually, it might be wiser to castle queenside. She can't get me in check here. And castle queenside, I'll be here in the first place. That means this bishop does have that square, but the queen is, she's protecting this square. I mean, grand plans I might have. This bishop would be able to put me in check if I castle queenside here, and when I try to attack it. So if he moves here first, scares me away from protecting his space, it's gonna be rough, and then we'll probably just block it like this. So I'm gonna castle, This person is rated 1714, and I don't know why I'm playing someone that high. I don't feel like I'm completely losing, but I don't feel as though I have a good attack here. So let's see if we can thwart this little thing we see happening here by just castling, and prepare for the queen to get chased away and for the bishop to try to rush in for a check. Okay, next game. Okay, W4 ready, W4 radio. This is the same guy, 1714, or female, who knows. Now what's happening in this game? Well, he's just pushed this pawn, which is protected by the queen and the knight, and it gets rid of my diagonal, and it chips away at my pawn structure, whilst at the same time his bishop, in line with his queen here, is attacking this knight. If bishop takes the knight, I can take with the bishop. That's attacking the queen, and so that's not going to happen. I don't think it is. It looks scary, but if he does take, I take back. Now I do have the opportunity to castle here, but there's the danger. I don't know what happens if he takes. This particular pawn is pinned, and my queen would be under attack, and all he has to do is line up his rook here, and it's a checkmate with this pawn not being able to move. At any time he can just go ahead and take this knight here, and whereas I can take back, I don't think he'll do that. He'll get it's just an exchange of a bishop and a knight. This is the problem. This is the problem. What happens if I take? Well, he's got this knight and the queen eyeing this down, and it leaves a pawn, just the isolated pawn. Plus this guy can easily take on the charge and come down, and this pawn being pinned, it attacks the queen moves, this is not being protected anymore. There's a lot going on here, and I think if I were to take instead with the bishop, if he takes with the knight, I take with the pawn, and then castle, so that I'm no longer pinned down. And that's assuming he does take. I put this bishop here from the get-go. Not that I remember this entire game, but it's a fianchetto. That means, well, from the get-go I was trying to get it here and steal this diagonal. So let's see if he's going to trade. He's going to trade his knight. The pawn is protected, but this is pinned down. That pawn will just die since this bloody hell, this knight is pinned down. And if I let him in, I lose my initiative and he'll be pushing me around. You know, castling is the best thing to do, but let's wait until he does the takes, castle. That's the way it's going to go. Alright. What? So I have 3 games going with, looks like, is it W4 radio? Wordio? So his knight just got kicked away, and judging by where my bishop is, this is the results of a Karo Khan gone terribly wrong. His knight all up in my face. Now he looks like he's just floating. He's, you know, there's no one protecting it, but no one attacking it. And my knight here is a little stuck. Yeah, he can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. You simply can't go there. Can't go here, really. And I could attack. And this pawn here is protected by the queen. Now, again, with the concept that I don't exactly know how to attack, there is this idea. If I take this pawn, he takes with a pawn, then you would hope the queen could end up in this position, giving a check, but actually the pawn is here is going to kill, protected by the bishop. And so even though this looks pretty, them lining up, there's no real attack. I could push the pawn up, but no, there's nothing protecting this pawn here on this square. And on this square, you know, if he takes, I take, and then he takes, and then she takes. Yeah, you see, it could work out. But what is this? This knight is a scary guy. What is he trying to do? He can go here. The king will kill him, but that's not fun. He's not going to go here. That'll be death. Not going to go here for the queen, but he could go here. Even though, you know, I take with the pawn, that'll open up the file for me. And what weaknesses does he have currently? He's got his rook just aiming down at the king here. Just aiming down. And once he moves his knight any old where, then he'll have a discovered check. Currently, he doesn't have very good access to his light squares. He's blocked in over here, and he, you know, he can go here, he can go there. He can't go here. We just kicked his knight, but it doesn't mean much. We could push, open up this file to attack. I don't know. I really don't know. So, what I'm gonna do is, I just want him gone. Yeah, so I'm gonna attack this knight out of just pure terror. And then perhaps that'll allow me to, moving this pawn will attack the knight and allow me later on to start pushing this particular pawn to attack and try to break down this castled king's defenses. And at some point I've got to get this knight out. I don't want to go here right now because queen takes. And where else can he go? He can go here. I'm not doing much but getting out of the way. And then I can castle and escape this thing that's going on. So what I'm gonna do, make a decision. It's either the knight or the push. The knight gets out the way so I can castle, which is important, especially with this guy coming down too. This will be pinned and won't be able to take. Or I can just move here and then attack this back pawn, even though it is blocking this white bishop from having as much play as he wants. And if I scare this knight away, it opens up this whole little trap. So I'm going to move the knight in an attempt to castle next turn. And let's move on. Okay, this is Andriel Medea 1148, and I believe I have the upper hand here, though one can't say for sure. It definitely looks that way. He's got one rook, and this rook can't do anything, can't do much. The king is no longer trapped behind his castled wall, so even if you were to somehow make it to the back line, I can still escape. So he doesn't have much of, or she, they don't have much of a play. I can start swiping pawns. I'm seeing that I can put him in check here, bishop here, and then he wouldn't be able. Put the bishop here, he won't be able to go, or you would be able to attack my rook, causing me to have to run away. Since this is not a checkmate, I don't think it's really worth it. I could actually go here, pin down that rook, whilst it's protected. But all that will happen is a pawn move or two to scare the bishop away. Even though the bishop could move back, it would eventually end up with both of the rooks gone. 3 pawns versus 3 pawns. Although I do know the tricks to do that, to get through, I think it would be better right now. The biggest threat from white here is its pawn structure. This makes sure that these 2 pawns are now isolated. He may fly on over, maybe right here, as a matter of fact. If I were to take, he could just come right here, aiming at one of my back pawns whilst attacking where my bishop would be, and he's gonna have some sort of play, and that looks like it might be the one. But if I don't do that, this will be destroyed. Can you checkmate a king with just a bishop and a rook? And we got 2 here versus 2 pawns. I got isolated pawns. I could begin bringing my king into it, but I like where he is. He's relatively safe there. And if this does happen, if I take the pawn and he attacks, and we move up, we lose the bishop. The bishop would have to run, and it's a dark square bishop, so. If I don't take now, I'll lose my opportunity. We'll be trading, then he'll go after this. I'll run away, and that'll protect this. He might be right here. And, you know, perhaps I can just do what I was thinking of doing. Put him in check. Yes, he can run. I don't want to waste a move. Well, actually, I'm thinking now. Is there a way to have my cake and eat it too with this one? I'm not sure at all. I take that pawn, I lose my pawn. We'll both have isolated pawns, and then we'll be saving pawns. Oh man, what to do? Okay. Is it possible that he doesn't go here to attack that pawn? I doubt it. I doubt it. Now there is another trick. Now let's say I take this pawn, right? He jumps in. Bishop is under attack along with this pawn. Instead of running, I go ahead and protect my bishop. He won't take the bishop now, but he might take the pawn. Now, if he does take the pawn, this bishop can come right back here, say check, creating a discovered attack to take his rook. And I do believe that's the way to go. Let's do it. Bam! Now the trick is to remember that that was the plan after I've made 55 more moves and come back to this again. And I think I will. What I'm trying to do here is not necessarily play each game through. The belief that I hold at this moment in time is if I make the best move in the current position, no matter the position, then if I came up with a good idea now, I should come up with that same good idea since I'm trying to make the best move. And since I've already begun this particular plan, the next best move should be rather obvious, especially in a game like this that there's not very many more moves that can be made. Anyway, enough bloviation. Let's move on. Okay, this is the same person. Andrea the second. Miera. So, in this game, you can see how totally safe and cozy my castle the king is. We have a bishop over here, the dark square bishop. We have his knight and her knight and a rook. at a pawn here, past pawn, which is being protected by both the knight and the rook right now. This particular pawn is in danger. And we do that, we can get a check. That will allow us to move on to the next game, and we'll be what? Yeah! If I take, that's a check, and we gain that rook. Get that rook, then we have our bishop. Well, we don't want to take this, but we don't want to take this pawn after that. But I think there's no better move that I can think of. We can scare this king out of this position into the corner. Our rook can come over here and pin him down. Keeping in mind that if I do this incorrectly and that rook survives, it can come down to the back rank and checkmate me. But I do believe he's just lost that rook. Hooty hoo, as they say. Alright. F-frame 1346, which is pretty high compared to my own level. Another thing I've been fighting with, this is a closed game. Is it? Is it not? It feels closed to me. It looks closed to me. Although I am completely looking comfortable here, he's got his queen all the way down here. What is she doing? How did she get there? Why is she still there? We have bishop, who has been aiming at my bishop. We've been aiming at each other for a long time in this game. Let's see how long. A long time. As you see, he tried to pin this knight down, and the idea was, can I move here and get blah blah blah. Not good. Not good. There's the queen getting out of the way since the bishop is protecting this knight. Whatever happened there? So it's going to be bishop. Well, you know what? It's bishop versus bishop in some respects, but if I could take this knight, go here, that's check. And that removes this bishop. And he's got to move that king. And that gives me back the initiative. I'm a little bit scared just because of the number near his name, 1346. Is there some grand plan that I'm actually falling into? Because he could have killed both these pawns. Could have killed him. He wanted to go ahead and get 2 attacks going, I believe. And though this knight here is in a nice position, he really has no place to go that makes sense. He can go here, but so what? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't attack anything. It doesn't create any fear. And I got my queen here, lined up with me bishop. That's taking this diagonal. You got this one spot is protected by this knight, but protected by the pawn, protected by a pawn, protected by a pawn. This diagonal looks pretty on first glance, but there's no real play here, and I do believe that this position has been attained because of my queen running away or jumping down here to protect against this queen. By taking this knight, it would have attacked my queen with a pawn and forced her to run away even more. Despite all of that, I still think the move is this. Get rid of that bishop, put him in check. He might move closer to attack, and then by moving this particular bishop here, we can gain some other kind of... Once this bishop is there, check, he can move here. He can't move there because of my knight currently, but he could attack, and then again he'll be attacking 2 pieces. And how can I protect the knight that will be here? This would be slightly protecting it, but he'll get killed by the king, and then I can free my bishop. Basically, the knight will be here, the king will most likely move to attack. And then moving this knight somewhere would protect the knight where it is, and he can kill the bishop or he'll have to kill the knight at that point, and then this bishop can move back. Either way, I think what's important here, especially against a higher player, is to gain that initiative and punish him for not destroying this knight. Let's face it, one of my pieces is going to die no matter what. So if this knight was going to die, it didn't die. This bishop is in some respects free. It shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't happen. So he's going to attack later. And I can go here to put him in check, where the knight is actually freed, and this knight would be protected. And when he moves out of check, he could go here, and he'll be attacking one of the. But one of them's going to die anyway. Then we might be able to grab that pawn from the back. He'll have to move his knight, then we save. Whatever happens in this particular game, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed. This is the move that I believe is going to take me there. Next game. There's a lot going on here. My king can't castle through check. This pawn is hanging in danger from this king, from this rook. However, it looks like, yeah, man, it looks like this is over. Let me take a look at what happened. Oh, you want to go from the beginning? Oh, so go back to the beginning. Oh goodness! So this game starts with a Reti opening, very standard, but he does. I haven't figured out how to handle the Reti Gambit declined advanced variation. Some people are saying what you should do is go ahead and attack it. He takes, you take, queen comes down, you take, and you can't castle anymore, and you've taken your queen off the board. All of that from this simple little move. I also tried to prevent things from happening by, moving a pawn to stop it getting any further. He can go ahead and try to move here. So what did I do? Because it seems like I'm close to winning in this game. I don't know how to address this particular move, this push to d4. I'm going to have to research that at some point. So there you go, this move that I learned you're supposed to make. Oh, I don't understand exactly how I'm supposed to get the advantage. He doesn't take, though. Moot point? Who knows? He protects with a knight. I move my bishop, trying to castle, because this is a scary position. He pulls out another knight. Simple development, makes sense. I take, he takes, I take, she takes. Ooh. My queen comes out. For what reason, I simply can't tell you. I think I'm protecting this square from his queen. And he develops / protects the queen. I don't know. So I just start to develop. At this point, I can't tell if I had a plan or not, but I surely can't see it now. His bishop comes out. Queen. Oh, see, it's funny when you replay a game. I made that move, therefore I saw that move, but I didn't see it just a second ago. The moment his bishop came out, that weakened this square here. That's the trick. If this if the black bishop was to come out, it would weaken that square and it would become a target. And anyway, so what happens here? I take. He's got to protect that rook from being taken out. It's protected by the bishop. I come in, just trying to back up the queen. I can see how this would be a nice little move just to protect this pawn and keep his white bishop. Well, from having this diagonal, though he has this entire diagonal. Give or take a square. The queen takes the bishop. Yeah, the moment the queen left, the bishop was hung. Alright, she takes that. I come in, check. E moves. That's good. Check. E moves. Check. My black bishop is useless. He can go to one square. Once that queen is here, he won't be able to go here or here, but he will be able to go here. And this knight is protected by one queen. But he does have this. The queen won't be on this rank, and that'll be bad. Although my lame bishop is here to prevent that. Gosh, this is nothing. There really feels to me there's only one move to make. The king will end up here, blocking in not only his bishop but his rook. My two rooks are also useless. I see if I move this pawn out of the way, the bishop can come to a3, and that would basically be checkmate. But after he's moved to this position, I'd have to make 1-2 moves, and I feel strongly he can make those moves count. Toby Levy, 1154. I wish I could castle. This is still precarious right here, and we do have his knight in play. And I wonder if there's any sort of, bishop. His bishop can come here. My queen will be here at that point, and my knight also will protect that spot. But him attacking this location here can cause a lot of problems. You know what? I reckon this is the best move. Although how to continue and get checkmate with very little backer, it was confusing. But we'll get to that one. This is the move. Moving on. Alright. I'm beginning to recognize this position. If you do Caro-Kann, that bishop coming out here is known as the hillbilly attack, as you can see. And I don't know how to battle against that quite yet. They say that once you reach this position, this bishop falls back with the intention of attacking this f3 square, probably by taking the queen here or here, and going for a scholar's mate. Fun thing about scholar's mate, you can put a stop to it immediately, but if you're able to allow them to try that and get out of it, well, they've wasted a lot of moves trying this scholar's mate. And if he does move the bishop back, I am inclined to take and give him free reign to the f3. If I don't, then he will take, I will take, and then he's got this this check on this king here. So he took. If I take back, if I take, this opens this up for a check, which I can stop with a number of ways. I can stop it, or as I take, he'll back up. I will take, he'll back up, bring that queen out. There's another concept. We let him take, move this up so that he can't get to this spot here. Then he takes again. Then bishop takes. It seems safer, but I'll be losing a piece. This is Emma 167 at 862. And I don't like to look at those scores and judge people. It can't help. You know, I'm playing a guy who's 1700. He's probably going to whoop my ass, and I'm probably going to beat this 862. But underestimating your opponent in and of itself is a path to failure. Since I don't understand the hillbilly, I'm going to do what feels natural and just see what happens. I reckon I'm going to take. He can take. She can take. He's going to back off, and that is the hillbilly. In other words, the hillbilly attack is whooping my ass. I don't know what to do against it. We'll find out soon. Alright, what we got here? Our king is smothered. He's attacking my queen in her face. But also this knight can't really... If he takes... You know, let me start over. If I run any old where, and he takes, I can't take back because of this queen pin right here. And he's got my. You see, this pawn is stopping my rook from coming here and doing anything. I could actually take. This rook has been protecting this pawn from queen checkmating me. If I go ahead and protect, if I protect, then I lose the queen. If I come down and kill it, I'll lose the queen. Nothing to take back. That's my piece. The taking, I can't take that. I can't come here to provide check. This game, I don't see how I can possibly win. Now, so let's take a look at how badly I can fail and if there's anything to do. So I'm gonna run. I would like to run here because then I can capture this pawn and provide a check. 1, 2, 2 moves. He will take this knight. After that, it doesn't protect him enough to cause a checkmate. It's extremely uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, once he's here, it's hard to figure. The queen could just come here and say checkmate. This guy's been preventing that. This is a lost cause, but I do have to run. There's little choice of that. My plan is to provide check. I mean, if only I could have gotten here and pinned down that queen, but no. And from here I can, if I move here, he moves here, this queen will be protecting this spot so that I can't provide a check. I've got to go here. Alright, thinking too much too long on a lost position. Is there anything I can do? Man, what's the difference between moving here and moving here? I'm a little more exposed here, but he's not worried about my queen very much. How can I punish this? Wait, why can't I go here? If he takes, I take the queen. Then he's got to run from my pawn attack, and that will give me this pawn. There will be no chance to check the king. Checking the king isn't what's happening right now. What's happening right now is this consolidated attack. So it is this move which will get me killed. Why do I keep forgetting what color I am? It's really sad. What the fuck? This is not gonna be good. It was a nice idea for a moment, but it shan't work. So here I gotta go and hope that getting him in check is something. I'm pretty sure this game is lost. This is I came, I saw, I came. 12:34. Let's move on. Both of us have got our kings castled. Got about equal pieces. This is a fairly closed game. I've got 2 knights, he's got 1. His bishop is over here struggling to find some sort of purchase. If he takes, I take. Who cares really? That's like, he's just trying to find space for his bishop. His knight will be left hung if this queen moves. His queen is probably eyeing this file. I don't know what's going on here, honestly. This is Fideheli 1104, and I think they want to look at this square, you know, like takes. Not even to mention the queen. And here's the issue. Look how untouched and unscathed the king actually is. I can see perhaps moving my knight to try to attack one of these squares and basically sack this knight to create some sort of open, but there's no follow-up plan to that. Now, there is the idea of getting my queen down here, pretending I'm protecting this whilst aiming for this spot, but the knight can't come here because of the queen. And I could take this, he could take, or he can take with his knight and attack my queen, which is not good. I'd rather let him take. This whole little thing is going to happen, and if it is going to happen, perhaps I can just thinking now about getting this guy out of the way. Here. And what good would it do? One nice thing I learned is if your knight is on black, it will be attacking white. Once it's on white, it will be attacking. It will be attacking black. So it's on black, it's going to end up on white, attacking a black. When this transaction happens, it's all on the white diagonal. So with my knight here, we can attack here. You know, this might be a thing. In fact, it is a thing. If I can go here with my knight, that connects my rooks, protecting them. This pawn might very well die. Screw him, he was an arsehole anyway. He takes, I take, putting these guys in a fork. Then he loses one of them, and it won't matter which one. Excellent. And if this particular pawn, who will now be here, takes again, I take, giving myself an open file. So that tells me that this is the move to go. Let me think about it. He can't attack my queen. Actually, he can. Once he takes, and my knight is here, I come here, one of them dies. He can always try to come to this spot once it's vacant to scare my queen away, but it's not a fork. I think this is the way to go. This is it. If he pushes down, that'll be fun. He's got to protect this pawn and see that fork. I think I got this. Next game. Now I'm going to take a quick pause. I need to grab some water, but at the same time we do have Toby Levy, who we were watching a moment ago, says I won by resignation. He resigned. Yeah, a lot of people I've seen saying when you get to a certain point it's smart to resign. I guess there are moments when there is no hope. I can't say this was one of them. After his king moves here, the queen can't take the bishop. Nothing can take his... I didn't know you could do that. But yeah, he was safe. He didn't have to resign, but I guess he didn't want to waste time on his queen all the way down here. He should have got something to come down here. You know, if this knight had come down, it would have allowed his queen to get to this spot, because it would have been protected after a couple of moves. You know, perhaps up one or whatever. He could have come down here. This was a precarious spot. When he moves there, and I go here, he can move back. The queen and the knight never stood a chance of beating his king. So he resigned. Whatever. So I've played many games, and I'm still at 53. We got 65 more games. As I said, I'll be back momentarily, grabbing some water. Alright, let's jump back into it here, shall we? Okay. Fideli. What happened there? A bit of an exchange. So, in this game, we're approximately even. His queen really was just responding to my attack. He could attack here. He's not going to go here because of the knight and the queen. Not going to go here because of the pawn. Might take a spot right here. That could be it. The queen would then prevent the king from castling. That is a bit of a bother. What else? Yeah, well, could also go here and do the same thing. We have a pin right here, but this knight currently, it's made one move and hasn't done anything since. If takes, then takes. And his queen could pop up here to kind of support and then take. I could kill with a pawn after that. I don't feel like this pin really concerns me at all. He has castled, I shall castle. Then we'll break this little thing at some point. Just move the queen somewhere. But let's castle first before he prevents me from castling. Moving on. This is Fideli again. Fideli? Alright. So we've got his knight. Just move from here to here. And what does that do? It puts pressure on this spot, which is also being eyed by the bishop. If he goes here, he dies. If he goes here, he dies. Yeah, that's about it. This spot is protected by the queen. We stop the bishop from attacking. Then it's protected by one piece, my queen. He won't take it after that. So I think the way to go is to kick this bishop. He can't move backwards, can't move here. He can go here or here, both of which are rather passive. One of which, this square in particular, blocks in his queen for a moment. Also preventing this pawn here on the e-file from uncovering his bishop, and as you see, our bishops have been facing each other like this the whole game. For a long time. I think we started out both fianchettoing like that. See, both my bishops are fianchettoed. So I think this is the move. Kicks him, locks in him. Don't get me wrong, he can come here, but that's not as long of a diagonal. So I think this is the way to go. I see this bishop has been eyeing this for a long time, but if I take, he just moves here, and he's got an open file. And I don't want to give him that. So this is our move. Next game. How long has this been going on? If I capture with the rook, we don't have our connected rooks, but who wants connected rooks on the back line just sitting around anyway? But would this open me up to attacks of any other description? If our knight comes here, that does open up for attack, but it won't happen because this pawn is here protecting that square, so that won't happen. No. Also, this knight of his can't go here. Can go here, but for what reason? Not many reasons. Don't want to go back to where he came from. Don't really want to go back on the edges. This would serve little purpose but to run away. Maybe if he wants to come from here. It's not the worst, but he's not going to come here. That's his own piece. His bishop is kind of blocked in. It's not part of this action. Same with this bishop. It's been sitting on this diagonal. Once this guy moves, who's supposed to come in, we want to remove this knight. This knight can't move here because of the bishop and the queen. Can't go here, can't go here, can go here and here, but who wants to? But let's look at the situation at hand for real, for real. If I move this knight, the little trap with my bishop isn't activated until this pawn moves forwards in such a manner that I simply swoop in and kill. I don't see that happening. I don't think we have to worry about that. If he moves the pawn first, he's attacking my knight, which is protected by the bishop, but he could easily come in and try and attack with the pawn. Takes. So I don't know. It's a plan that would have to be uncovered. At hand is the question. Well, if my rook takes, it can't be attacked quickly thereafter. Wait, this move would attack it immediately. That's the way. And therefore, if I kill with the knight, it attempts to snap back would result in me taking it, this pawn taking that, and then I'll just take his freaking rook. So it's this move. Moving on. This diagonal that I obviously have been eyeballing, he's closed it off pretty well. And this is Fideli again. Fideli. And he saw I was about to get this pawn, but you know what? I get the pawn, he moves. Then what? I move back, I run back to whence I came, any old where, and he's got an open file. So it does stop me a little bit, but at the same time, me taking that pawn would have opened up a file for him. This bishop is out here all free and mobile. It's not doing much now, but it's still a danger. I'm eyeing that there, which is why this is happening. Let me take some arrows away. I'm eyeballing this castled king. If I can get my queen here, get her there, that's checkmate. However, once she is here, he moves forwards. You see the queen. He would chase the queen away. This would no longer be protected by the bishop. And the queen would then run away. End of story. Not very good there. This plan looks great, but if he tries to stop it, he will succeed. And I would have wasted a lot of time. Although perhaps the same could be said that I've wasted a lot of time right now by setting up a plan and not executing it. And I don't know why this is so juicy. Just grab this bishop. Then he takes, gives him an open file, which is not good. But at the same time, how else am I going to break down the king castle? My bishop is, utterly flaccid. His bishop ain't too much better, but at least it's got some maneuverability. So I just want to take, because I can, and I can eliminate that piece. I'll say for sure I don't have a plan here. By moving the queen and missing the opportunity to take this guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking if I go here to threaten checkmate, he goes ahead, scares away the queen, she runs not too far as to be caught up, then he takes this bishop and goes wherever he wants. Since my queen would be here, he can't go to this square, but look how, yeah, it's protected by the queen, but it's only protected by the queen. Protected by the bishop, my bishop, although he can simply move here, well, and attack the bishop. The knight's going to be staying here. We got this, he can just move right here and attack my rook. I could kill him now, or I can go through this plan which may fail and end up with me having to protect against my rook dying. He's not going to go there. Ooh, so what makes sense? You know, I can just go ahead, say check, king takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Now his king is here. He's got an open file, but his king is here. Now, don't get me wrong, his queen is chilling in the back, surrounded and trapped by her own pieces. That wouldn't be the case for too long. I gotta free up my people. I think the best thing to do is to sack that bishop. That way I can get him in check. He's forced to take. Then I get that bishop. With his king there, perhaps queen to h5 thereafter. Although, at that point, she wouldn't have any backup. She would harass the king a little bit. Ugh. Well, I've overthought this. I do think breaking down the kingside castle is the way to go. If we put out our queen and he's smart enough to block, there'll be no plans, and I'll be left defending. Having him and his bishop will come here, attack my rook, then back off, so that nope, sack, pap, moving on. That was looking tasty for a second there. This is protected. What's going on here, really? Oh, we have a pawn that's passed, protected by a knight that's protected. I haven't been that much worried about that for some reason. My knight doesn't have too many options. This doesn't do anything. This is death. I could just take him out, but then it is death again. Can't go here because of this pawn taken. Can't go here. This knight literally just can't move unless we can go here, here to attack this guy who will just move out of the way. How many pieces? Well, I'm down. Let me see. Just a brain fart there. Well, it does have a little number, +4. I think it means, you know, both the queens are gone. So I'm down a bishop and a pawn, and I've opened up this file here, but this guy can't make it there. Death, 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 death. Retreat, 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 retreat. If I could just take it, but then who's going to fight against this? And what am I going to do with a rook and a knight anyway? This is already protected, and it's protected by 2 pieces at this moment in time. 3 pieces. And that pawn isn't a problem if I play correctly. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I do believe I've lost this game, because that knight is worthless, and if that knight goes out in a blaze of glory destroying the other knight, it's dead. Then the pawn can be pushed, it'll be protected by the bishop, one of these guys will end up in front of it, then this guy can easily come forth to lend its... this is a lost position. It's a lost position. There is a concept that one should push the pawns in the kingside castle to attack. As you see, that they're so far behind. If I were to make a pawn push at this stage, get this guy here and hope he takes with this, and no, it's too long. By the time that happens, he'll have these 3 pieces mobilized. 4, if I count this guy and let it live. This would be just a flaccid move. He could take the chance to attack. That'll force me to move. That means I'm attacking him. He can come down here. This is the last position. I'm taking. I don't think I'm going to win this game. Moving on. Fidelis. Let's see what we doing earlier. It's okay. So I got impatient with the fianchetto. Just said screw it. Taking it. I don't know if that was smart or not. We do have an open file here. My knight is a little pathetic. This is hung, easily taken. He can easily take. You got this little exchange here. If I take, he takes. If he takes here and I attempt to take back, he can take the queen. The queen will get captured. It won't be good for me though. If I attack, he can just bring old queen down. Say check. If he says check and I move somewhere. Got this square. Oh, wow. Fidelis, you might get this one. Unless I can get that queen out. I can't see a way to get my people into the game. Well, actually, there just might be a way. See, if my knight is here, it prevents this bishop from attacking this square here, which will attack my rook and just put me in a state of disarray. Not only that, it would be protecting this square. He can't take because the rook here. So I'm thinking something along these lines. He can still take. I could still take. I wouldn't have to. I could take like this. Hey, either way, it's going to be bloodshed. And I think that, this knight also attacks this square and takes that pawn. Doesn't do any good, but it's there. All these guys haven't moved. Here he dies by bishop, if the bishop is so inclined to do so. This pawn managed to get... It's not going to be there for long, but right now it's preventing this guy from moving. And this bishop hasn't moved anywhere. Once we make this exchange here, relieve the tension that's happening here, we'll be able to get this black bishop out. But there ain't no plan for what will be happening. I think the way to go is this move here. Moving on. Okay, King Master Love. Trapping my bishop in right there with that move. It looks like I'm down a bishop. Got my two guys. Are you really even protecting anything, Mr. Rook? I've got two rooks and a bishop. My king is in the middle of the board, stopped from castling a long time ago, it seems. I could just... I don't know. And this guy can't get out anymore because of this pawn here. You can go here but get stuck doing nothing. Can't take this because of that. You do have this pawn. We can push. If I take to the outside, he can't take because he loses. However, if I just push forward and he just pushes down, then we got this takes. Also, his bishop, his knight can come down here, attacking both these pawns. Easy to get some backup in there, and attacking my bishop at the same time. Who has actually? He can't go here because of this knight. He can go here. Gonna push and see if he just moves. If I move here, he just moves forwards. That'll be good. If he goes to the side, no, we do have this move. Then I can just kill here and attack. Or actually, if I move forward, I'm just thinking here. Yeah, if he doesn't do anything and moves something else, then I will take, and he can't take because this rook will get him, and this pawn that could kill me back will open up this rook to kill his rook. But feels like maybe he can do something else, scaring my bishop away. Maybe I just move back and give my pawn some backup. So that's the move. Let's take a look. "47 moves to go. I see I was attempting to attain this beautiful diagonal, but it's not to be because of these two guys. I could open up. This pawn would die almost for sure. Then I have his bishop, and the bishop is pinned down, so he'll have to take, and if he takes, I can take this. Do I want to lose that pawn? My rook is doing his job as a guard over here, but really he's not in the game. Neither is the queen. Neither is this guy. He's not going anywhere. And of course this guy is also... all my pieces are trapped. There's no point in this bishop going here. It won't be protected, and this bishop is still eyeing that square. He just castled. He's nice and cozy, and we don't really have anybody attacking. I think the way to do this is open it up. If he takes with his bishop, I'm going to move here. If he takes with his bishop, he'll be attacking this square, which is protected by the queen currently. Also, that would be eyeing my rook to a high degree. At that point, if he takes, then I take. Then he has to run. If I move and he does not take the bait and simply kills, I can get my knight out. Or my rook out. Although, yes, if okay, let's say this one last time. I move, he doesn't take, because if he does, he loses the bishop, wastes a turn running, and I regain the initiative. But if he does take, diggy. Okay, I'm losing my mind here. Let's go with he won't take, because if he does, we know what happens. So he takes my bishop. I take with the knight, which will protect the pawn that was never taken. So that's a plan. Let's do it. Let's see what happens there. Okay, King Master Love again, and this is not looking good. He's got this strong pawn structure, and the two back pawns are protected by a bishop. I'm in check, so there's not going to be much bloviation this time. Cannot use the knight because takes. He's got this queen right now, and honestly, this is not good. This isn't good. Talk about backup. He can bring that queen in. Let's be honest. I really only got one move. We're not going to put the queen in the way. We're not going to put the knight in the way. There's nothing else to put in the way. There's nothing that can kill this rook at all. So, I must run. I must run. Now, what is his plan after that? I mean, he's got this entire file to himself now with a queen. What would I do? I would aim to be right here with the queen. Even though once she's here, it'll be check. You know, she can't take this or this, and this queen is here, so that isn't going to happen. But and these pawns are relatively stuck. And he's got this guy that can move forwards, but this guy can to no avail. Yeah. In fact, I'm seeing something else now. After I move here, after I move to B1 or B8, I'm sorry, then he can just bring the queen here, or bring this rook out, and then once that rook is out from here, he can put the queen in. It's kind of checkmate. These guys are all stuck. I mean, this guy here has got one spot to move into. This spot here actually cannot move into any other spot. Only the one spot for this guy. And what does that do? We move here. These guys don't need protecting. Plus, he won't be able to move anywhere. This is a stuck. Stuck. Everybody's stuck. And the king is squished into a little corner. This is probably a losing game. Let's keep going. I'd like to see how he makes this happen. And if he makes a mistake, we'll make him pay for it. Alright. What just happened there? Yeah. You can put an attack on my queen right here, and that bishop. Well, not really. They're all protected, but they're trapped. Once more, the problem here is being trapped. And his rook has got this file, so any idea of chasing the queen away, yeah. I move here. He just takes. I take. She takes. and I'm still in a bad position. I think I was aiming to scare this knight away, but to what avail? As a matter of fact, if I move from here, that opens up that square for the knight. We do have this knight that can reach out, attack the back. That might be a reason for the push. I would move my knight first. I feel, we could move this pawn. I can take, and then he can take. I could move there now, blocking this pawn from moving forwards, then try to scare his knight, then get to this position. It all depends on how well he plays in this position. And there is the concept that he just took a pawn because the pawn was hanging, as opposed to some sort of grand plan. But this bishop pinning both these guys down, not a good look. And once this knight has been kicked from this position, if we can get this pawn out, then the queen has got this little diagonal. So I think the best way to go here is to stop the pawn from moving, put my knight here, stop the pawn from moving, stop the bishop from having this diagonal. And so in that position with my knight here, the bishop has got to move or die, and then it's up to him to make a move. I don't know what he's gonna do or can do. I believe he's as stuck as I am. He's got a powerful move going on here, a powerful thing happening. Let's see if we can't put a stop to that next game. 44 moves to go. I could here en passant, and if I were to en passant, then his knight could easily take with no revenge in sight. By removing this pawn with en passant, this pawn being gone, opens up this attack against his queen, and I'll be protected by my queen. My king is in the back, not necessarily castled, but he's on a white square and he's got a black bishop. The black bishop is trapped. Excellent. If he moves the pawn and get him out, but it'll take a few moves for him to get here to do any kind of problems. En passant is a pawn for a pawn, and if his knight is on this square here, this F3 square, then this attack will not be possible because that spot will be protected. If I don't do en passant, I can't get here because it's protected here. And what's the point of attacking the queen anyway? She'll run, and she'll probably find somewhere more powerful to be at. What attack? I could move forward. Again, he can just get out of the way. His knight is on the edge, not the best place for it to be, but he's not really scared. My bishop can come here, attack this rook. If this pawn is still here, it can put a stop to that. However, if we move forwards, he runs here. I can't go here or here because of that knight, where it will be. If I move to make that attack, we do have this move, but that will be pointless. I just take and then bring my queen in. And his knight over here is also stuck with one singular move to go into, with little to do after that. You would have these two places to go. These two as well, but on that second move. So the best move would be just attack. I think we'll attack. If he tries to protect We just take. He won't do that because that's silly. So he's gonna run. And do we have an open file for him? No. If this guy would get out of the way, he'd have an open file. But he really doesn't. These pawns are stopping that rook from getting down here right now. And the knight is stopping him from reaching this file. He can't get to the bishop. I think the attack makes most sense. This attack. Yep. Even his queen has little play. She can't get past those pawns. Excellent. Oh, what was going on here? Okay, I'm down a lot. Both my knights are gone. One of the bishops and one of the rooks is gone. He's castled comfortably. And I don't have enough to sack. What went down here? Oh, just a bunch of nonsensical trading. Don't know what to do here. I don't feel like I'm mounting any sort of attack. I could go here. Queen takes. I take it. Trading a queen whilst I'm down in material for no good reason. No, doesn't seem the way to go at all. I can't go here to catch this pawn. I could go here, get a pawn. For what? For what? I could just take. His queen doesn't have much play right now, but it won't be very hard for him to mount an attack on this weak pawn. The weak pawn can move up, protected by the queen, but his queen can rampage around while that's happening. Perhaps position herself here. You know, if the queen is here and this guy is gone, this pawn would be there, so that will stop any attack on the rook. A bishop's down here, but none of his diagonals matter. You know, even this is getting stopped. I think the way to go here. Can we perhaps get our bishop here, our queen here? You know, the thing about such an attack is it looks obvious. They'll see it, they'll stop it, and you've wasted 3 or 4 moves trying to make that happen. Meanwhile, if I ignore this guy, he'll take, I'll be in check, and that's going to be rough. So I think the way to go here is take. He can just come right here. Mount another attack. I mean, it's rough. But I gotta do it. If he takes, I take. It just opens up my king. No, gotta take. I think that's the way to go. It's just take. I don't want to trade queens. King Master Love at 1087 is whooping my ass in all the games we're playing. So we've got the queen right up in my face, but even though he's got all these pieces, it's very difficult to get the queen in here. We're not going to kill this pawn because it prevents this rook from having the time of its life. Why did this bishop just move from a... The only thing I can think of is moving the queen down, bring her in, checkmate. How do we stop that? Well, what we could do is simply take this pawn, move it up. This is a bishop, it counts en passant. That way the queen can't get in here to do that little thing, and his whole idea of how he's going to get checkmate is going to have to change. Now while we have that excitement happening over here, and I'm realizing that if the queen does simply move here, that's it. I can't stop her once she is there. I must stop her. There is also, I can take, but she takes back, and I've lost a rook for a bishop, and I'm not in any better position. There is this little thing happening over here, where this guy's got to take, because otherwise it will be taken by this pawn when he moves forwards. Take, and then there's 2 stops, but then you got 2 connected rooks at the back. It This guy will not get promoted. And if that doesn't get resolved, and he takes, I'm missing a pawn, but it won't be that. It won't be amazing. There is the idea that I can take this pawn if all of that happens. But I'm fairly certain if we stop the queen now, she'll still be in this location. Stopping her is important. Oh wait, we got this too. Little thing here. But sometimes the concept of grabbing a pawn makes no sense to me, because look, you grab the pawn, you open a file for the rook. What did it do for you? What did it do for you? Nothing. Nothing. So I think in this situation we have to stop the checkmate. That's it. Move on. Alright, another game where I'm getting my ass whooped. Another game where we see that my diagonal right here didn't work out. He just moved out of the way. What is happening here? How do we get here? Retty. Again, this advanced pawn, I don't know what to do with that. I need to learn it. And there we go. He's winning just because he's chasing around my pieces. This looks like a closed game happening. Wow, all this. Now that I've seen that little how we got here, you gotta die, dude. That's not good chess, that's just revenge. Alright. Now I'm thinking if I move here afterwards, you know, we go take the bishop, take this pawn if the opportunity remains. Then we have a queen there, and this bishop, perhaps as backup, can make something happen. Something. Who knows? We shall see. First things first, die. I'm obviously protecting this, what was once the weak spot. Now if we try to move here to line up with our rook, what we're going to end up with is, I bet, him moving this pawn forwards, protected by the queen, stopping all advancement. But I would be able to come in here and say check. I wouldn't be able to go in there and say check because I would have moved. Now there is this little baby right here. Again with the pawn moving forwards and the queen no longer aiming at one of these weak spots. Here, once we close this up, we could just take anyway. If he wants to lose his queen, you know, so this might work. This might work. Moving across, attacking this rook, causing the pawn to move. Oh wait, what am I talking about? This queen will just murk my face. Okay. What do we got here? As a matter of fact, now that I'm looking at this properly, this queen cannot move here, or here, or here, or here, or here. I simply cannot reach here. Or there. Or there, or there. I've got two moves. I'm not here. What? For what? For what? I'd like to make it so something's pinned down somewhere. And I do have my rook over here. It's in the game. Perhaps I come forth here, and then we continue with this concept of this pawn attempting to protect itself. That pawn moves forwards, we gotta check. I think that's the move. Here we go. Do have this bishop can easily come in here, cause me harassment, because I can't. Well, I can kill it with this rook. That's probably what's been going on. You know what? If this pawn moves forwards, it gives us this check. So this is another thing where I'm gonna have to do it. Let's see what happens. If he comes down to attack next, instead of protecting this, then we're in trouble. Then we are in trouble, and we will either waste time, lose a move, or this whole plan will fall apart. But you know, this pawn is protected. This pawn currently is protected. This pawn's protected. These two pawns are protected by this. There aren't too many weak spots. To catch this rook on a diagonal, that's a protected spot as well. I've got no more bishops. This knight, I'm sorry knight, you just take too long to get anywhere and then be insubstantial. I haven't noticed it, but this queen has got this pawn is totally hung and can't be protected very quickly by this knight. So I want to take a chance that this will cascade into something useful. If he attacks with that bishop, it'll be a lost cause. Next game. This looks like something that I really must have messed up right there. Now I'm in check. His queen is attacked. His queen is pinned. She gonna die. She fixing to die. Okay. I'm in check, therefore I must take it out. However, he's still pinned. You unpin it. I'll lose the bishop perhaps if you unpin by moving here to d6 there. No, she dead. She dead. Now what else could you do? You know, I'm gonna make this move. That person's out of the match. Hold on a second here. So the rook attacks. It's going to take out this knight. Its queen will die. I would want to attack the queen. Therefore, bishop over here. But when I take, that's check. And then I can escape. Nah, he dead. This is good. This guy's dead. This is King Master Love. I bet you I win this one. Because you fix and lose your queen. And if he does actually move this bishop, it's going to leave this square for my queen anyway. Which may or may not actually, because you know, once he moves that knight, they'll be connected. But it'll be an attack. So anyway, next game. Doing that. You almost have to. And that was a bishop we took out? Sure was. Why did that happen? Why does any of this happen? Well, could be a miscalculation on my part since, we've been eyeing this down. This guy will never move. She's in the mix. There's no point for that. This queen taking makes so much sense, but nothing is hanging. You know, this queen takes, which makes perfect sense. It does leave this file open, but so what? What that gonna do? Nothing. Nothing. And also, aiming at this rook makes no point because they're connected. So once my queen is here, this guy's protected only by the queen, but it is protected. And if these guys were to move to, you know, try and attack here and try to do something here, I still would have the opportunity to take my rook and my queen to this square, but it's doubtful he would make such a severe mistake. And my knight here ain't saying nothing. Can't go here. Why go here? Can't go here. Why go here? So I think it's obvious we take and see how this progresses. I mean, he can bring his queen to g5 and then his bishop to h3, and that'll put a lot of pressure on this here square, this g2 square, where I can move this up to protect, but it would still be a dire situation. Anyway, we're gonna move, we're gonna take that knight and see what happens. Well, looks like this was set up for a queen exchange, leaving him with up a knight. I can't see any way to really mitigate what's going on here. This pawn would be nice, but it's off limits. It's protected by the knight. It's protected by the pawn. No, these two locations mean nothing at the moment. I think what am I supposed to do here? Exchange. Why? How did we get here? Quite intentionally, it seems. So he was eyeing this checkmate. I put a stop to it, because if he does, now that checkmate square is protected, but also it's a fork, he moves down here, and he's pretty safe there. I say here, I'm killing your bishop. He's going to revenge kill. Then I said check on purpose, and so yes. The king's out all in the middle of the board. It's not unprotected though. The dark squares all along this diagonal are taken up. The one pawn is protected by the king at the moment. I need to get this rook into the game. We got two pawns eyeing this one square right here. This one square. So if I push forward, it'll end up in this shape, depending on which side. This shape, that's, yeah, well, no, what am I even talking about here? I'm just saying, it won't open up the d-file if I push forward and sacrifice a pawn. It won't. It will still be a protected pawn in this position. Or maybe, since my queen is going to be here, we can move, and attack that pawn and see if we can get leeway that way. Splendid. Moving on. Okay, blue tea chess. 14-15. Why am I playing so 100s? Whatever. Am I winning or losing? It is hard to tell. You know what? I see something here. In fact, I reckon I am winning. If I say, gotcha, can't move the bishop because it's pinned. And if he attempts to take thereafter, well, we'll just take. I don't know how we got here. Truth is, I can just take now. Takes. And then from this position, can I nab this guy? Or do I simply go ahead, take his rook, and come back after these two pawns? These are my pawns. What am I talking about? This one passed pawn might potentially cause a problem, but once it moves, if it does actually, okay, now I'm confusing myself. Let me begin again. Okay, let's take a look. I take. He can't take back. He shouldn't take back with his rook, right? What would you do? Maybe push. Actually, I take the bishop. He shouldn't take, because then I will take. And I've got a bishop. I can move here and capture this, stop that promotion square from meaning anything. And there's always the idea that once I do take, unless he moves the king, it'll be a discovered check. So that's the way to go. Remove that last piece. If the knight has to run, we got this pawn, a back pawn at that. We got this. Blue chess. Gotcha. Alright, 37 moves left. This is a closed game with King Masterlove again. I don't feel like I'm winning. It's like everyone's trapped. In a closed game, your knights are supposed to reign supreme. His knight is a little trapped. If it goes here, my pawn can just take it out. If he tries to take, this pawn will protect. So I'm not worried about his knight. His bishop. Okay, I see. Bishop has taken a long time to get there, and so has my knight. What's going on here? Alright, I see. It's supposed to be move to here, then move to here, because it was so difficult getting around this strange structure of pawns right here. He's not aiming for this pawn. It's protected by 3 pieces right now. He is trying to stop my knight from getting here. That is what he's doing. Now, if I move here, I can go here or here, pointlessly enough, and then to here, and then what? There's so much powerful stuff back here, you can't do nothing. Actually, from here to here, I was going to say, nab this guy or nab this guy, but no. No. If you want to get this guy, you have to end up here. And for him to end up there, 1, 2, and then 3. I can actually, I can say here, convincing him I'm still going after this position. Well, now I'm thinking about it, either which way. Although there's a benefit for me on both. I'll scare the queen away. He'll die. A pawn will move up. This pawn will be free to come down. This particular game here is about this damn pawn structure. And what to do. See, my queen is sitting here. Useless. Totally useless. And if we do have an exchange, he might want the exchange to happen with one of these 2 pawns, opening up the center line. We're both facing each other. And even if this release of tension causes these guys to move, then you've got these 2 rooks eyeing each other down. Basically, what is my black bishop doing? If it moves here, it's got one move, one double protected position to get into. It could move here to get my long fianchetto diagonal, which is prevented by this pawn, and this queen, and this back pawn, which is who I was trying to get to. And so it's really a case of which direction does this bishop kill me in. If the bishop's going to kill my knight, whether it's here or here, this pawn will end up moving either into this shape, allowing this guy to start moving down, or over here. Enough. We know we gotta get a piece in the game. That's this knight. Alright, hey guys. Guys. Like anybody's watching. I'm gonna take a little break. See you in about 10 minutes and I shall continue. I've just gotta let my paranoia roam and check the front door even though I didn't hear anybody knocking. And also, I'm going to just check. Is this thing recording? It's still recording? Yes, still recording. Excellent. Oh, when I become famous, buy followers, primes, and viewers on some random thingamajig. Automod has been... No one's here watching and no one's chatting, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It never matters. Let's get back to it. Okay, so we just got this king. This is King Master Love again. There's really no point just chasing him back and forth, back and forth. We need to mount it. Oh. What's going on here? Yeah, these two knights protecting each other, you know, this looked really exciting for a split second there, but of course that's not going to work. It's not going to do anything. And this bishop is all out of attacks right now. We could move here to say check, and then he'll move here, or here, anywhere he moves, it really doesn't matter. It's not going to be a checkmate. He doesn't have any backup. Queen is over here, stuck behind a pawn structure once more. And this is a thing I see often, that I can't break the pawn structure because if I move the pawn up, even though it is protected, you got two pawns here, here and here, both eyeing this square. One will take and still be protected, still be trapped. It's as though I would need to break through this. You gotta either get the back guys, which is hard. I have no more knights in this particular game, or I can go ahead, move here, get this guy to move up, get this guy to get out of the way. Queen can take if need be, then push, then the bishop will get these. I mean, that looks like it'll break the pawn structure very nicely, and open up a diagonal for check. At some point he's gonna mess up with these two knights, one assumes anyway. I'd love to bring this guy right down here, but there's really no point for it. Or bring the bishop here to attack this knight, which is protected by a knight and by the queen, so that's not a good idea either. Unless we move to attack. I wouldn't be concerned myself, because if I do take, he takes. I'd have to have them both. I move one to attack, he's going to come up with a solution. I don't want to go that route. So close. I've got his king on the run, but just can't make it stick. I got my dark squared bishop on the queen side of the board. He's useless and trapped, but on the king side, I just don't see where the play is right now. He can't come here, bishop. Can't come here, pawn. He can go here, but he only will be attacking this pawn, and that is not advantageous because this is the square where that would be important. Maybe I'm wrong there, I'm not sure. Don't know. I feel as though I don't want to sack anything. I'm down a knight, it seems. I could put him in check and move on, but he's just going to go back and forth. There's no way to clinch the deal. What do we need here so that next time he does that? Right now, neither of his knights are pinned, or able to be pinned by me. Well, actually, if I come over here with my rook, that is aiming at this unprotected pawn in the back, which is, we desperately need that guy to go away. However, no one's going to be silly enough to think that I put my rook here just for fun. And how can he attack? He can't. He can't attack the rook from there unless he moves his rook up. Kill it. I honestly don't know what to do in this position, because these guys are stopping me very effectively. I really want to kill them, but attacking them doesn't seem to make sense. Actually, yeah, because it's protected. I'll be sacking that guy. Now, I could actually push this pawn here in an attempt to scare away this knight, and if en passant, then the bishop wouldn't take. Let me see. Let me think this again. Okay, pawn moves forwards. It's attacking the knight, but en passant would immediately be attacking my bishop. And since the knight is not dead at this point in time, it would be protecting the pawn in question. I take with my pawn, he takes with his pawn. I'm forced to recapture. He can go ahead and take. I can go ahead and take. So this is it. We're gonna push. If he en passant, this pawn will be gone. Ah, lordy, lordy. If en passant, he comes here, this pawn is not attacking the knight, as I keep on thinking. Nothing will be attacking it, and my bishop would be in trouble and forced to run away, whilst this knight would have moved nowhere. Can't have that. Conversely, if I try to attack with the bishop, it'll be a trade. I'll take the knight, he'll put his queen right in front of his king, and my attacks, my joyful little attacks, will be over. I mean, there is also the idea of coming here to attack his bishop, or let his bishop attack me. He wouldn't attack me because the queen would kill him. But that does nothing about these guys and any sort of plan to actually win. However, in lieu of any better ideas, I'm thinking that's the way to go. This en passant one almost got me. I mean, I could push forward once, but it's still the same concept, freeing this little pawn to become a nuisance. If I say check, let's go back and see if we've done that before. Yeah. Matter of fact, I sacked that knight specifically to get him on the run. Obviously, I missed something. But let's see. Put him in check again. See where he moves. If that doesn't really know, I imagine he could quite easily just move over, making him once more somewhat invincible. I reckon I did the wrong thing here, and I'm gonna pay for it. Here we go. This is a strange one. Alright, so I've got a knight over here who can skip to this position unarmed, then to this position, ignoring this guy for now, or to this position. However, both the back pawns are currently protected. So this little situation here will change. When this guy moves, I'll jump in. But this rook right here, this pawn, if I take with the knight, it'll be protected. That's good. If I take with the rook, it'll be protected. But we want to take advantage of this open file here. That's what we want to do. And there ain't much to stop us once we try, I believe. Take with the knight, he won't sacrifice that. He will most likely go here to prevent my rook from having this open file. If he does that in anticipation of me moving there, then my knight can simply go here where it's protected and bring my guy out. So I think I'll take with the knight. Let's see what he does. This is King Master Love 1087 as well. Okay. Well, I don't know how to tell if people are watching or how to chat while it's going on, but you know, whatever, I'm doing this by myself, really. King Master Love once more, and here we find him all up in my sauce. Okay, I kind of see what was going on. Now, if this queen makes her way down here, that'll be a problem. Not big problem. Actually, big problem. Because next she can go here, protected by that rook. So she's in a good position to frig me up real quick. Also, this guy, what trouble. This knight can go here and die. Here and die. Here and actually survive. I don't want to kill it with the queen and stop my queen from not protecting this spot right here. So I'm safe from that knight, he said. I'll do that as long as I'm protecting this square right here. Which isn't to say that queen coming into here isn't scary as well. It is. But this is the move. Let's go. Let's move on. 33 more moves. Okay, I'm in check. I'm running all over the board. And I do actually remember this. We were trying to protect this square for the longest while, but in doing so, this rook has never moved. Excuse me. This knight prevents this this knight from going here and attacking this here knight. So this little spot, they have been stuck there waiting for a misstep this whole time. This pawn moved forwards to prevent this rook from hitting it while it was back there. And right about now, where do I run? Why do I run there? He's got both these rooks. This one has been flaccid, but this here guy can come on out to here and come down to here, and my king is in a bad position. Also, you can't move there, or here, or here, or here, and this is under attack. I might just move back once. If I move back here, let's get it. If I move back, when the knight is on black, he's attacking white. The next time he moves, he'll be on white, attacking black. So the next time he moves, he won't be able to attack white. He can attack white now, but on that next move, he'll be on black. This is now protected. His black bishop can't touch me. And that's the move. There's not much thinking to go into that. Right, King Master Love again. Here we got this pawn that was once a great weakness. It's the reason why this guy's blocked, and this can move. Get out the way. But what else is happening here? My bishop's here. Got a nice diagonal right here, but really it's not in use. Both the king's castle sides are dismantled. I've got this knight here, which can take. Not a good idea because it's protected by the rook and the knight. This is protected by a knight. And we've got our queen here. This pawn that she's attacking is being protected twice. Also, we do have a diagonal to this rook, but the rooks are connected. It doesn't matter anymore. I won't take this because of the rook and the knight. So these guys can't be touched. These two guys. He moved forward, trying to rip this open, but as a matter of fact, I think it'd be nice for him to take. I take. That locks this back up again. If he moves down, I go ahead and take. I've got a semi-open file, whatever. Actually, it'd still be trapped. You can't take, and Queen's protecting this spot as well as this knight. So, what is the plan of attack here? This rook, looks like it was once important. No more. No more. And I don't know how to face two pawns. If I move up, it's just lose-lose. You'll create a protected pawn all up in your face. Not good. And this particular pawn here is facing that same problem with these two guys. Depending on what this pawn does. But I'm not worried about this pawn because no matter what it does, it'll be advantageous to me. It's probably good just to get this guy out of the way. Connecting my two rooks finally. And attacking this guy if this pawn were to move at all. Still not actually a plan of attack. Still not a plan of attack. It's a little something. Once this knight is here, it can't move here. Really shouldn't move there or here. It's just not. It's an okay move to connect in the rooks, but doesn't really do anything. Now there is this queen. We can bring her here, and then move the knight. It's protected, but our queen would also be protecting it. If my knight's here and my queen's here, I can move to this spot. And that's not even a checkmate. He's got an escape route. We don't got a black bishop anymore. Goodness. Now what about this bishop? What you got for me? Can't you do something? Maybe here? Man, these two knights are really stopping up every move I've got. One expects. So I think we want the queen to come on back and then do something that takes advantage of the pinned status of this pawn. I can also do that by moving the king and moving the rook, but in one move I can get that going. So I'm going to bring the queen back. Then queen back, then go here. If takes, then takes. If not takes, death for the rook. That gains me a piece, but it doesn't bring me closer to checkmate. But it's a plan. It's all I've got. Not only that, his pieces are in such a good position, with the exception of his queen, which isn't doing that much. All the other pieces are in such a good position that on the next move, it's going to be that pawn. It's going to be this pawn, and we'll be back into this situation, almost the same. So, that's it. It's the only attack I can think of. Let's do it. Okay, 31 more games to go. Alright, now I do remember this because I know I was losing this on purpose. This queen here ain't gonna be good. Now the only reason I would think that was gonna be good is if I believed But I can put something down that's gonna make him think a little harder, but I'm not so sure. Actually, I do think so. So I'm gonna say check. He can move wherever he wants. He's most likely gonna take this knight and do it like that, meaning I'm protecting this particular square. So check. Grab back the initiative. If he does any other move, it'll be check, and then I kill that knight. But I do think he's going to move to this square to stop that check. My queen will be here, and then if that knight does block the check in such a manner, and I'm here, I can come all the way down and make sure, or right now, chase the queen. Chase the queen. Then she can just take right here. Now that I weakened that position by moving my bishop, put me in check, and things will not be good. So I'm going to gain the initiative and see what happens with this move next. And that was Stobart Ivan, and this is also Stobart Ivan. Don't feel as though I'm winning here. Feel perhaps maybe I'm not so much winning. I've only got a rook and a knight left. He went here with confidence. I'm sure that this exchange is going to happen next, and it won't be good for me. I can go ahead and move here. There's no point trying to protect this guy. If I go here, I'm dead anyway. So there ain't no way to protect. Well, he's protected by this knight, but I can't. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time with this guy. I think the way to go is right here. Takes. Check. Just for feels, because that's not gonna do anything. Maybe when he moves, we put our knight here, which attacks that. Well, I'm gonna have to take back, or wait and let that pawn come down here, or he'll go here. And if that moves forward, if this pawn goes from takes and into takes again, moves down, it'll be protected by a rook. I can jump onto a black square, and he'd have to. So yeah, seems like the way to go is just to go ahead and take, and attempt to regain the initiative later by getting him in check. He can protect, but at that point I'll just take back or move forwards or something, or kill a pawn or two. This is the way to go. This is the way. Stobart Ivan is 1309, which honestly I believe that that's round about the level I actually play at. I hadn't played in a long time. I lost a lot of games to timeouts when I got really busy. Back in the days, we used to work. He used to work, and I would get busy. And so my score went all the way down to like 8 something or whatever, or 11 something. But yeah, this is the move. I think. I don't believe this is a game I'm winning, but it's not over yet. If he makes the wrong mistakes, I'll make him pay for it. Okay, it's funny we see this shape again, where there are actually no more bishops or queens on the board, but this shape still persists. I see that often, and it shouldn't be. Okay, so why did he just move here? In fact, how did this whole thing come together? What's going on here? So, Karo Khan advanced, very textbook so far. We were just exchanging his king in the middle of the board. How is it his king's in the middle of the board and I still feel like perhaps I'm not winning? Okay, check. Alright, check. Oh, he moved instead of killing it. He moved. I guess because of, I'm eyeing this down. Oh, goodness. Okay. Taking out that pawn. Eyeing these two pawns. The back pawn, most likely, attacking this rook. What happens? I say check. Can we pin him? No. Strange. This was the spot he could have been attacking. Right here. But instead here, not doing much at all. And I move up. For what reason? Oh, to protect this pawn. He kicks this knight. The knight jumps into the corner. He comes over. For what? For what? For what? I really can't figure it out. Maybe he's coming down here to attack upward. And I would like to attack. And he could easily just go here to attack again. I can move down here, protected, to attack this guy and harass him. Harass. Now, if I can get to where I can protect this pawn, how does the knight get there? Let's go from here to here to here to there. 3 moves and I can be right here. Can we do it this way? In fact, 2 moves. I can go here. He's gonna scare me away. This is, I assume. Then when that happens, I run away here. If takes, then takes. And it wouldn't matter that I'm over here trying to protect this piece, but at least I'll be harassing and I'll get rid of one of these pieces. So, trying to utilize the fact that this pawn will be pinned. It ain't pinned enough yet, though. I could use a pawn push, but it wouldn't give me no initiative to do anything. Not only that, he can come here in a bit. So maybe instead of allowing, this gets the rook to chase me, so I end up here. But if I go the other direction, now we're stopping his knight from making that move. Oh, what? This is why I have to talk through things. Yeah, if I go here, then this pawn will get me, and that'll be the end of it. Let's stop bloviating and simply make the move, see what happens. Here we go. Queen trade. Ain't not much thinking to have to go into that. What's going on here? So this bishop was once pinning this knight to the queen who once lived here. This knight may be moved for other reasons, but I think it's because this queen was eyeing that position. Again, we come up with the problem that these 2 pawns make this pawn untouchable. And that this little barrel movement looks like it could happen. My experience says that seldom does it happen. Seldom does it. Now, yeah, like, okay, look at this. Let's say, because we have to move this knight. He's not hanging because of his bishop, but still, we don't need him there. We go here, and we eye this pawn right here. If I take, this takes. Then I take again, this takes. Then the queen can come in, check. Then the king will move here. Then I've got no backup as to how to continue. And then his back pieces will come for me, this queen, probably move here or here or whatever. It won't work. This concept of just brutishly barreling through the king castle position, brute force is not going to work. I would be losing a bishop and a knight, 2 pawns, to put him in check for him to move out of check. But I do need to move this knight. Is the knight protecting anything? No, it was protecting the queen. Now, if we move, you know, right here to get out of the way, our next moves, next positions that we can move into, 1, 2, 3. That bloody pawn again, and a pawn over here. So it makes no sense to go there. Now, if we move here, well, same deal. This would have been nice, wouldn't it? But this pawn will get me. This pawn will get me here. Bishop will get me there. Knight is protecting that. At this point, tell you the truth, saving this knight is one thing, but it doesn't put me in a better position. And so far as the knight is concerned, there is no better position. Now he moved this guy here, probably to join in protecting these pawns. Alright. Think about this. And the knight can go here. For what reason though? It can't go there. This would be pointless on the edge. Nothing's here. So now there is okay, I see something. If we move this pawn, that kicks the bishop. It should go this way, since he'll be trapped if he goes here. So we can force this guy to move over to the queen side. But if he didn't move, then this pawn could take, and that would leave me an open file. That's highly unlikely. Perhaps this pawn can make it all the way to this square. Nothing. Well, I live in an apartment, and there is either rats or possums or squirrels in the attic scratching around. I can hear it, the cats can hear it. I've complained about it, but of course I'm not rich, so I'm not important. So I can actually hear them scratching around. I can't tell what animal, but it's an animal living up there. I don't have access to deal with this myself, so whenever I hear it, I get stressed because, again, I'm in a hopeless position where I can't do anything about it. I was going to take my sword and start stabbing holes and hoping to kill the thing, but obviously that's not going to work. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to take the initiative in my own home to make things happen. Buy a house if you can, so you don't have an apartment and depend on other people to do things. They won't let me paint this place or change out the doors or nothing. Back to chess. Fucking life, man. Anyway, where are we? So we were looking at this knight and deciding that maybe he's not worth saving because everywhere he goes is useless. My bishop can't go anywhere. Queen doesn't. I don't want to go after this weak spot here because all it does is give this rook an open file. As a matter of fact, mayhaps I strengthen my side slightly, and matter of fact, I was going to just push a pawn and see what he does. But if I come here with my knight and attack this spot here, and then also save this guy attacking the same spot. That might put me in a better position, especially if my queen can come here. Now that pawn is a gunner. Not that that pawn is so important, but it is being defended heavily, and if we can disrupt that, it might open up more weaknesses. Now the question is, which one first? Because if takes, then takes, the whole tension is over. I'd like to give him the chance to do that. If I don't, he can stay right there. So because of that, well, if I go here, he's definitely not going to take, because he knows it's already double protected anyway. So I am going to just make this move. Just make a random decision. Move on. Simbonath. Wow. I am not winning this game. I can't use the king to protect this rook down here. These guys are forfeit. See, I was desperately trying to make something happen, but he's got this rook. He can easily, well, knock him down there, right there. It's not wise. Maybe here. Putting me in check. Winning this rook. Where would I go? Can't go here. Can't go anywhere here. Here. It would be one of these two spots. If I attempt to attack now, attack this guy, he puts me in check. I move, he dies. This guy can't put me in check, he's too close. This guy can't put me in check, he's too close. He can go here. I've got to figure something out. First of all, let's get off the same file. I can't go there to get off the same file. I can't go anywhere here, or here. And this just... Still, no matter what I do, these guys have been lined up. They can't unline. Unless, don't move the king, move this rook. And you know, when we're on the same file, it's going to be hard to get any sort of checkmate. Yet, if there is to be any chance of a checkmate, I must go there. So maybe I can put him in check. He runs onto the back file. Maybe I pin his rook and call it a day. We'll exchange. It'll be a pawn race. Don't know. If he does make this move, if he does make this move, it allows me to go this direction. So yeah, there's not much I can do. So here we go, trying to have some sort of chance, but I think this is the last game here. And this is Simbanath, 1169. 25 moves to go. Again, we're strategizing to attack the king if he castles kingside, which usually does happen. My black bishop is utterly stuck. How did this guy get all the way over here? I do not know. He's got a good diagonal with his bishop here. I'd like to put an end to that. I wonder if that's what the queen is doing here currently. There's no way to attack back with the bishop. Why would I want to? I don't want to. This knight ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. Wow, how stuck are we? If I bring this knight out, I still have to move this bishop in order. Look, we can't go here. Can't go here because of the bishop and the knight. Can't go here because of the pawn. Can't go here because of the pawns. Don't want to go here. We'll just be sacking our bishop and giving that rook a open file. But If these guys don't move, the bishop's stuck. And the bishop has no play on the queen side anyway. These black pawns are taking up the dark squares. So I've got to move. Gotta move those guys. And I also got a castle. It looks like this move that he just made is setting to free his bishop. Protected, attacks my queen. Should I defend that now? Or handle it when it happens? Actually, if he was to do that, I could go down here, because the bishop would be there. Seems like a great idea. He moves, I run, and in this position, it'd be great to take that rook, but the rook will just move here to attack the queen. And when that happens, it's protected by this knight, and that knight is protected by this queen. I'm trying to see if moving here is a good idea at all. Once the rook moves to this position to kick out the queen, we do have our bishop lined up, but I take that pawn, I lose the queen. So it looks like a really clever idea, but it is not. I could castle. I could castle. And if he's smart enough, he could sack that bishop, destroying my whole little structure. I could run my bishop down, get this pawn out of the way, free this bishop. It'd be 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves to free this guy. Even trying to move this knight right here. We'd have to move this bishop in order to move this pawn, in order to move this knight, in order to move this pawn, in order to get this bishop on a diagonal and into the game. A lot of moves right there. This bishop right here, he's hung. It's not protected by anything. Now there is this idea. Move the pawn forward, blocking this diagonal, right? Blocking this diagonal, allowing the queen to protect the bishop. And he could take with this, and then we take back with the bishop. So this is what is going to happen. But if we do it now, move that pawn. If he takes, I take. He takes, and then I've got no recourse. Or I could push a pawn. That prevents that diagonal, but does nothing to alleviate this guy here. Goodness gracious, would I see that this is coming to kick that queen? And I can stop that by moving forward, but I don't want to. I don't know what to do at all. I could just castle, see how things play out, but and this bishop has got to move because there's no one protecting it. If it's got to move, let it move out of the way. Or what's happening there? Don't think he's going to take this position. He can run here. If that bishop does come out, his bishop comes to here to chase the queen. We move here, still protecting this position. So that's safe. Let's go ahead, move the bishop out of the way. We're going to eyeball moving this guy forwards and moving this guy forwards thereafter to free our bishop. So that's the move to make, or maybe it isn't. We'll find out. obvious sacking there. Why did we just do that? Oh, okay, I see. I see. Because we don't have enough backup to really... I can say... No, no, no. If I go here to say check, we got this bishop right here. If I go here to say check, we got this pawn right here. We do have this black bishop. I'm not gonna sack him. I'm just not. I'm not gonna do that. We do have our queen all acting like she's cool, but even if the queen were to eyeball this slightly weakened square, we again have no backup. We just don't have enough backup. To get our black bishop there, we would have to take this, and that would already take it. And, you know, if the king was there, it would be pinned. How can we do this? We can't put him in check. We can't. And from what I just saw a moment ago, that wasn't the point. I was getting rid of a knight that happened to be there. We do have this bishop that is hung, but no one can get onto the horizontal or vertical to capture it. And the knight would take 2 moves, and still that place is protected. So that's not going to work. How is it that this move that he just made is a weakness? And I can't put him in check. You know, this pawn, we can go here. That'll pin this pawn down. How can I take advantage of that? This is the square right here. This is the square that would be slightly weaker if the queen was here, but you got this bishop and the queen eyeing that square, so that's not gonna work. My light squares are gone, so my queen and my bishop don't have much they can do. I think this is the kind of position where one would need to know how to sack properly. For instance, if I do take this, one assumes that he would take back, leaving his king somewhat exposed. However, not exposed enough. We would run into the same problems. These pawns are not stopping us necessarily from positioning these guys. What's stopping us is our light squares being taken away. So, and the back pawns are the castled pawns. They're protected. Goodness. Can't bring this guy forward, really. Could do something like this. But for what? It would take so long to get there. 1, 2, 3, and then we're no, nope. We can put our queen right here. Start eyeballing this position. Or go ahead and attack this bishop. You want it, come get it. And then go back into attacking him. That bishop's gotta go. That's one. I don't know if that was the right decision or not, but gotta make a move. 24 moves to go, to be precise. What is happening here? He's eyeing this rook. This rook eyeing this here knight. Also, this queen is eyeing this. Sorry. I'm tired. So am I saying sorry to anybody watching? If you're watching, let me know. I don't know how you would let me know. I don't know at all. There's no number saying you've got 2 people watching. There's nobody watching. What the fuck ever. So, here we are. I do see a number of interesting moves, however. What do we got? You see, this guy is lost. In fact, this game is lost now. I'm looking at it. He can't get out. And we got this guy and this guy under attack, clear and present. His king is all cozied up and castled, no way to get to that bastard, at least at this moment in time. I did look at moving here with the knight. However, of course, it's already protected. And also, if his knight moves, this becomes a weak spot. So that's not good. We do have this move, you know, but again, the knight and the bishop. This knight can't go here because of this knight. Can't go here, rook. Can't go here, knight. Can't go here, knight. Can't go here, bishop. Can't go here, bishop. Can't stay there, dead. This guy can go here. She moves, he's dead. We can go here, protecting that spot, dead. Now I wonder if that's the way to go. I move here, attacking the queen, negating this little thing that's going on here. Eat and take only with this knight. Then I can take again with this knight. Then once he escapes, we got this guy if the queen doesn't move to that position over here. So it looks like just bringing both the knights in is a way to go. Actually, if I do move, he's got one move, check. Checkmate, not necessarily, but check enough. Check enough. Yeah, as a matter of fact, oh my goodness, check it out. If he can get here, and I move here, he can go here and say check. I move this. No. I don't see how he could do it, but it looks like this knight is preventing this queen from coming here and causing a large amount of trouble. This guy's probably just dead. Just dead. The benefit of the queen killing it, is the only one that can, is that we get this knight right here. So it's going to be an exchange, unless he decides to kill this guy first. Then I take, then he takes. I can't save them both. So what I'll do is I'll move up one square in the hopes that he does kill this knight, and if he does kill the knight, that will allow me to kill this here knight. Unless he pushes forward, which would be rough, but gotta happen, man. We gotta do this. Alright. Seemed like this would be a beautiful spot to go, but bishop. But bishop. Now, in the off chance that I would take this and he would take with the queen, and I would take with this, and put him in check and then take that, it would be great. Not gonna happen. That is a nice thought. Not gonna happen. Can't run here because of this knight. Can go here, attacking the queen. protected by this knight. So there's a place to run and attack simultaneously. Very good at the moment. But what else do we have going on? His bishop has a nice run of this diagonal here and could easily just pop back to this position. I attack his queen, he attacks my queen. However, if I do this move to attack his queen, I then have the option to go here and say check. Matter of fact, I could do that now, but I think we need a little more. Because if I go here and say check, he can move here. And when that happens, that's the end of that little run. There'll be no other way to get him. No backup for my queen. If the king moves in this direction, after we say check here, we just don't have enough to really make that stick. Putting it in check now, he just gets out of it. That's what happens. That spot is open, but I think it would be best addressed once my bishop is safe by taking. We attack, hopefully he moves the queen instead of anything else, then we swoop in. That's the plan. Well, so we go here, say check, he's got a knight right there. Even if I do take after that, queen takes. All these guys are gone, and we can't put him in check. Bishop's gonna die otherwise. And we can't even go here and say check. Just the pawn will kill us. Go here and attack that rook now. Let me think about this. If I go here, attack that rook, and he moves a pawn forwards, it would be beautiful to put the queen there, but no, if I did that, this knight again gets in my way. Matter of fact, if I go here to attack that rook, that would be a good move. Would it? No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Because if his knight is there, blocking my bishop who's here, now when I put the queen there, it's an attack. It's a protected attack. You know what? We need to save the bishop, and this is the way to do it. Now, if pushes forwards, we take his rook. You know what? Let's move on. This is a lost game here. Only chance. So the only chance here is to get rid of these two guys. If I move here, sorry, let's do it like this. If we go here, he moves forwards so that this attacked pawn is now protected. Then after that, if I move here, that back pawn will have to be protected by this guy. Either one of these type of moves. It will move forward, that'll move forwards. It might be best if I go here, he moves forward, I go here. He kills this, I kill that, comes over here, and it won't be good. Gotta do something bold. In fact, I'll attack with the king. That was Alanias. This is Amin. Amin 464 is 1119. My queen is really blocked in. His queen is down here, and if I remember correct, he can take this anytime. He just hasn't bothered. Alright, there's no rush at all either. This rook can't catch the back because of the bishop. This rook, trapped. Now he can push these guys down. My knight is supposed to be my silver weapon. From where he is right now, it looks like the best move to be made is with the knight. Taking out a back pawn. It's exceptionally powerful. And where can we go after that? We go here. We've taken that pawn. We're attacking his bishop. His bishop, if it was me at least, comes right here, attacking the rook. Rook cannot escape up here because of the bishop. Can move to the side, but okay. Maybe he gets it. Maybe he gets that one. Maybe. See, my knight is here. The bishop runs and tries to put me in danger, but I do have this move after that, which is check. Here, takes, runs, check, hitting, check, rook, and bishop. Now I don't want to take the bishop or lose a piece, but I can definitely snag that rook. After I snag that rook, then he will come down here with that bishop. Don't do that, that was the wrong move. This bishop will then take, then I will take, then this queen is eyeing the concept of moving here, then moving down, creating checkmate. But as risky as all that is, I don't have much else of a plan going. So that's it. We're going to take that back pawn, see how it works, see how it works out. 20 moves to go. You know, we aim with this diagonal and quite often find that the rook will just move. That little trap I think works earlier in games rather than in its later aspects, later ways, later game. Also, we get this queen and the bishop barreling down on this position here. Although it wouldn't create an immediate checkmate, it would be a big bother to have this bishop come in, attack my rook, I move my rook, and my pawn's gone, the rook's moved, and it's his turn. And knows what he can do from there. It's substantial like that. It's already not good. I can't really push a pawn to protect because we got this right here. And this is a weak square. And it's protected by that bishop, but only by that bishop. This black bishop can move any old direction and suddenly it'll be protected by the queen. So it's weak looking, but it's not so weak. These two, this pawn here, pretty weak. This one here is only protected by the queen. And we don't have a fast way. You don't got a fast way to do that. Where's the spot? You know, I'm looking at maybe moving forward and getting in here, but so what after that? Ain't much that can be done that I can see. And this bishop right here, I don't know. He can go here, protected, attack my bishop, put my bishop onto a bullshit line like this. Or we move this forwards. Gives us a protected spot to attack from. This move can't be stopped. Not in any way I'd like to try. Imagine I move forwards, that prevents this bishop from coming in. Takes. I'm not going to take with the queen, therefore the queen backs off. He comes in. It's, you know, moves down and attacks. No. I want to move forward to prevent all that from happening. Well, not this. That's gonna happen regardless. We're trying to get the queen and the bishop, these two guys, to come in and do something. And I just can't find a way to attack here. And I haven't even thought about what happens if this comes down here, pushes the queen away, attacks this spot again. Even if takes, still inconvenience. Goodness, what? What? Ooh. This is a lot. And this guy, it's not going anywhere. Nowhere substantial. Dies here. Maybe if I move the king, if he does come down, my rook can move here. I can kind of back off, and then even the rook won't be able to kill it. It's still protected by the queen. I have no way of formulating a proper attack here. How frustrating. This guy can't get into the game. Come on, give me a break. All this bishop can do is take this and threaten this guy. There are no other immediate threats, even from myself. I must get moving. This is Bear V1. He's rated at 984. And I feel like I'm losing this match. I can't stop the bishop incursion. But if the knight does decide to come and join the fray, at least I'd be able to take back with a pawn if the pawn was moved up. So that's what I'm going to do. Mostly because I don't know what to do, but also because it gives me a little recourse for revenge. Let's move on. Yep, here's another game I'm losing. Can't go for this back pawn. It's protected. And I have a feeling that this little gathering is going to stay just as it is. So this pawn is kind of safe from an attack with this rook. I take, they take, and it's not like I can reach there now anyway. I do have to get away from that rook. I could go here with ideas. Go here and then here, but again, that's not gonna happen. I could go ahead, take the queen here, stop that pawn from moving any further. That's going to initiate one of these moves to get me off there. He won't go here, he'll die. He won't go here, he'll die. I think it's pretty safe to run here. There's no other pieces out there to help and to back up, really. Alright, that's the move. And this is from Wordy. He's 1700 rated. Okay. And pass on. One would assume, well, he moves down here for a pin. We just take it. If he goes ahead and takes, we just take it. So it's not fun, but he's not a problem there. The problem is finding a reasonable attack. And I'm not seeing it. I can move my knight here to h4, attacking this bishop. The bishop may or may not run. Let's say the bishop moves back here. I would at that point have uncovered this attack, but the queen is protecting this guy here. It would just be a trade out. Also, if this bishop runs back, it's double protected. Can't really go here, can't really go here, can't really go here. Sometimes these knights is useless. Damn! This knight here can come here, attack this guy. For what, though? I could take. If I take, that brings this guy here for a brutal fork of the queen, the rook, the bishop. As a matter of fact, that's probably what I should be concerning myself about. He can't go there now. And it would take quite a while to bring the queen out to protect this spot. I can move my queen here, stop him from moving. Takes, I'd be happy with that. But I am surviving, I'm not mounting an actual attack, you know. And if I could move this guy here, scare this guy here, come up and say check, and he moves this forwards, then what? Then there's nothing that would be open for an attack. At this moment, I need to protect myself. We don't want this thing to come down here, get us in a bad position, but we don't want this guy to come down. There's no stopping him if that happens. None. Not if I take with this. So let's not do that. We do this instead. Move on. 17 moves to go. How did we get here? Oh, my knight is pinned down by this bishop over here. My bishop is blocked all the way in. And it is, by pure luck, that I can actually take back. That's gonna... the queen can come on down. That'll... well, no, because my queen is protecting. So, well, I think this is the way to go. He can push. I move, take this, he can push down. But he'll be unprotected, I'll just kill it. So that's the way to go. We just take this. And this is who? This is Wordy. This guy is rated 1700, yo. I don't feel like I'm winning, but I don't feel like I'm being crushed. This is interesting. Also, I can castle at the next earliest convenience, which will be never, because if the queen takes, the queen ends up here, she's eyeing this guy, and I won't be able to castle out of it. The only saving grace is that this spot is going to be protected by my queen. So, we'll do that. We'll take. She's not going to take back. If she does, she dies. That isn't going to happen. We could find this check, and then I'll take. She could. No, that's it. My next move after this would be to castle. Oh, it's freezing cold in here. Can't afford to put the heat on. Miserable fucking life. Oh, what do we got here? Anticipation that this pawn moves forwards, opening up this little area here. We got this guy all up in my face. Can't really go here. Can't really go here. Ain't got too many options. This guy. This is Wordy again. 1700. Wow. This square is protected by the bishop, the rook, and the knight. I was thinking I can just take a jump in there and attack the queen, but nah, of course not. Of course not. Matter of fact, as per usual, really can't go nowhere. Really can't go nowhere at all. Anywhere this knight goes, it's either useless or dead. Bishop has got scarcely any room. There's nothing on the diagonal. The only major piece that's not on a dark square is the light square bishop. I haven't castled yet. There's an option. This is all scary. What's happening here? You could push a pawn. This guy's gonna come forward and open this up. It's gonna be unfun. I do have my queen. Matter of fact, I wonder if I can sack. Go here. If takes, then takes. It won't be check, but this guy would have to run. He could easily run. Could he? Yep. Yeah, back here. This is where he would run to. Sounds great, but sacking this pawn, sacking the bishop, then getting the queen in there does not a checkmate create. Though it looked cool for a moment that I might be able to get in here and then hit this bishop. Pretty idea, but not actually possible. And this is, not gonna work either. I could just push. That's gonna expose this guy when this moves down. It's gonna be we want to stop that from happening. We want to stop this bishop from having its day. How do we do that? Oh yeah, put your queen here. So when this bishop moves, nah, you just get killed. In one move, we must prevent that. It doesn't even. It just has to move down. We could put our bishop here. Takes, moves, protected. It's already bloody protected. What am I even worrying about? Don't know. And it seems like we're even, but I don't feel like this game is even right now. I'm struggling to find any sort of attack. Mayhaps keep pushing on the king's side. Mayhaps castle finally. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, we gotta castle. Because if this pawn goes down, he takes. We take. This pawn is here. It can take, but it can also push down. We are going to have to see what happens. Therefore, I will castle. Let's move on. Ideal curve, 1374. Oh, I remember this one. He says. My queen is stuck here. The knight holds this square. Then the rook holds these two squares. The bishop holds this square. A pawn holds this square. So I can move here, 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 and here. I can move to those three locations. Not very amazing. Some other ideas currently. Well, this knight can move here, scare away the queen, but scare her away from what and to where? And thereafter, where would I go? Let me see. This would be a square I could go to. This would be a square I could go to. This one here. And then that's it. Backwards to this square. Then these two squares are taken. Yeah, there would be no logical place to go after that, and the queen is not in trapped. She can actually run away quite easily. Also, this knight can go here, do the same thing, scaring away the queen. Scaring away the queen. This is a good spot to go in because it attacks these two locations. That's very good. But most likely, bishop will take. When that happens, if I take with this pawn, my bishop will well, it'll still be protected. No, the bishop would fall. Yeah. I take with this pawn. It leaves this guy to be able to start moving down, but really, it would be better to go here. If the queen runs away from this square somehow, which I desperately doubt, actually, she might go there, aiming for a checkmate. We don't have a dark square bishop. We can prevent that checkmate by moving forwards one little square so it's protected by the bishop here. Or we can move the knight here, scare away the queen, but maintain protection on this particular square. That might be the way to go. It's unlikely I can make it here and do a fork, and even if I could, is this rook really a danger to me at the moment? I don't think so. The bishop can just take this guy, then the bishop takes back. That doesn't free my queen, really. Let's protect from the checkmate, give the queen a bit of a scare, and come back later. I remember this game. I might as well resign this one. I mean, you know, I can't go here or here. Now I can't go here or here, forcing me to move down and away. And his next moves, this guy can just mosey on around, playing around until he figures out how to get to these back pawns, and then that's it. Meanwhile, of course I can't go here either. Right now I can't go there. This path, I won't be able to go there. This path has got to go up in between, up there. The likelihood is minimal. But keep trying. I don't think we'll win that one, but whatever. I'm just protecting this weak spot there. Would have been great. Fork these two guys, get rid of one of them. Either way, his light square bishop can't move to that square there, and there ain't no point moving to these two spots unless he wants to move here and wait for his queen to get to some angles, you know, to get this spot here. I see that happening. There's a little bit of tension here. How long has that been going on? Okay, not too long. Now I would love to just take, but he's got the bishop and the queen, and I've got nothing else. So we'd just be losing. We'd end up with the queen right in my face, which might happen to me if it takes, and I take back. And this opens up that file for her anyway. Mayhaps, since there's no real attack on this particular pawn, you just go here. Yeah, we'll go here. If takes, then takes. Discovered attack. It won't do much, but we need to give it a bit of a try because the Wizard of Oz. So there we go. And that's gonna be the move. Alright, cheer. Alright, moving on. 14 moves to go. This freaking game. Now, it isn't checkmate in one move, because if the queen goes here to say checkmate, we do have this rook who has been diligently protecting that square for a long time. We can't go here to say check because of the queen. We knew that. That's right, we were gonna go here and say check. And the king, though he cannot move in any of these squares, he can go here, he can go here. And then what do? From here, my queen is here. He's in one of these two locations. If he's here, since I've got no backup, I've got to stay kind of far away. I can go back to where I am, putting him back in check, and quite frankly, I would not be a checkmate. Wouldn't be anything special at all. If he moves down here, I can move all the way over here and say check, or I can go right here and say check. That, if he moves here, then when my queen ends up here, he loses his queen, I lose my queen. It becomes a pawn race with a pawn already here. Then my king would have to move over. I gotta do it and find out. Check. If he moves here, we good. If he moves here, very little recourse thereafter. Yeah, let's move on. Alright. A little barrel game is finished, as we're both after this little square here. And what is she eyeing here? She's protecting him, but she always was. This looks like they're trying to join up with the bishop somehow. I don't know what he would do. And this is wordy. He's 1700, so he must know something I don't. Can't touch the damn rooks because they're connected, and can't get my knight into the game. I don't view this move as a threat currently. This pawn is protected. He could move here, attack this here, attack this here rook. And if I protect, then this guy would be gone. Could move my king over to protect that when he comes here to get the rook. Something. Yeah, this is a hard one. I'm not feeling like I have enough purchase. Now this guy is open for attack. Don't think he will be for long. Is there a way to turn that to my advantage? No, if I go here to attack that bishop, either the rook comes in to protect or up to protect. In either case, there's no backup. It's just me and the queen. And then I wouldn't be able to touch these pawns. They're still untouchable. I could go here, attacking that, attacking it. Yeah, and then if the queen goes here to chase my rook, my queen will be here, we can come up, and it might be a rook exchange. If that does happen, this pawn's got to move in order to get this rook out, in order to get this here going. I do think that has to be the way. Let's see what happens. These are early games. Oh, this is the hillbilly attack, and there he goes, the hillbilly. Well, I could move here, stop him from getting a check. That is an idea. But how far we have come from Karo Khan, should we not move our bishop out as is traditional? And you move that queen down here. Stop it. Over here. He can move the queen. Yeah, I don't think he's going to move the queen and attack a bishop that's not doing anything. Or I could just continue with development as normal. There is this check. And if that happens, we put a... Maybe we do that now. It'll be pinned if he comes over here. Yeah. Well, I'm not doing the Karo Khan anymore, that's for sure. I'm going to make this move. I'm not sure if it's a good move or a bad move, but good old Emma 167 here with the hillbilly attack. I do not know what to do. Oh, 11 games left. Gosh. My dark squared bishop here threatens no one. How did we get here? What open? Polish opening? I don't know what opening I must have been going for. It did not work out. This is not an opening I usually do. So we got an open file for this bugger. You see, I'm trying to get this guy. You know, either you give me an open file, or it takes and I do a check. Not check. Attack the queen. I wonder what happens here. He says, "No, sir, no." I can still push that pawn and still get my queen attack, but I push that instead. This pawn protected by a knight, kicking this bishop into the one square he has, but he does have it. He will move there, won't he? Sure you will. From here, perhaps attack this back pawn, leaving our pawn completely naked. Or come here, harass the queen, see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Yep, harass the queen, see what happens. She runs in a position where she is attacking two pawns that are pretty weak. Now I can move back here, blocking this guy, re-protecting this guy. Let's see what happens. Ha! Decide instead, you take what you want, I'll give you a discovered check. She takes that pawn. I took the knight? What happened there? I'm not sure. Why wouldn't I go here? Say, check, right? It's bishop. Then he can come here or do whatever he wants to do, and I kill the queen. How could he ever have stopped me from killing the queen? I'm not understanding why I went here of all places. I think it's protected by the bishop. Maybe he would have took it with the rook. I would have took that. I don't know. I feel like I might have made a mistake there. The king moves because he's in check. Not sure what I was thinking and what's going to happen next. I went back, said check. He managed to move there so that I can do exactly the same thing, hopefully making the right choice this time, and murdering the queen. Sorry, Tris Marigold. No, you're not the queen, but you did now. Now his dark bishop should come into the game. No. Killed with the king. It makes me feel like there should be a lot of opportunity here, and this is where we're at. I believe that was a mistake to kill with the king. How can I punish him for that mistake? JG778, who is rated at 972. Don't know, as a matter of fact. We can attempt to scare this rook. Go here. Scaring the rook. He can't move here, he'll die. But he can move here. Can't move here, he'll die. Can move here and be protected. Scare my bishop away. Can't get check. Oh yeah. I want to punish him. I've got to punish him. He made a mistake. He needs to pay for it. Mayhaps we push the pawn. Push the pawn. If takes, queen check, win rook. However, you push, he moves forward, right? And we still have a check. And we have this move I don't really want to make, freeing up. But you know what? We gotta get rower. Because if I do take with this pawn, then I have this move here. Not astounding, but it'll give me a check and win me back the initiative. I think the pawn push is the smartest idea. Notwithstanding that he does have this attack on my bishop. And this guy's not made of jello. He can come here to regain this diagonal. No point really to go there as far as I can see, but it's not out of the question. He does have a couple of spots along this line, maybe even here, trying to harass my bishop. Here, for no good reason, and he's stuck by his own pawn. So I think the pawn push is the way to go. Let us hope that he takes. So was that the plan? Don't remember the amazing plan that we just put into place. Somehow I felt like I'd end up here. Whatever, pawn push it is. Let's move on. Okay, seems like a revenge kill is in order here. Is there a problem with that? The only problem is that after that, queen, I take, queen takes, I'm in check. I move out of check, it's his turn. What now? His king is cozy. Right cozy. This is Ariel Daichi. 1045 she's rated. And no need for pontification. We know what's happening next. Take it. Why has this happened? Both my bishops closed in, useless. The knight, really in a bad position. This knight can move here to put me in check, and this stops that from happening. Queen can take, I can take. That'll be a fork. So let's leave that person there. What happens if he goes here? It is protected. It wouldn't necessarily be a scary move on his part, but it'll be something. And I think that would mean if he moves here, the knight will be lost. No problem. And that's probably what's already happening. This is... what the hell? Miguel Crack. Whatever. Pronouncing bloody names. Now, did this guy get in here? Oh, goodness. This is not even... where? How do we... oh, there's the moves over here. We had 9 moves in. I went for the Reti, and he pushed forward the advanced version. And this time I couldn't make that E3 move because my knight was already out here. With his face all up in the place. You dumb it wrong. Now he gotta run. There he goes running. That's because nothing's protecting that. I reckon I would move D3, protecting the knight and stopping this pawn from moving forwards. Or I'm gonna go for a weak pawn with no frickin' follow-up, which I think is what happens. Yeah, he protects that pawn, even though the queen was protecting it. Yeah, he protects it again. I try to kick that bishop. It works. Take. Queen is all up in my face. Queen comes to protect. He moves forward. This pawn has been hanging the whole time. Now it's protected. He moves that knight. And this knight is lost. The only thing I could think of is perhaps to push this pawn A3 rat. So, if he does that devastating move here to block me off and he's protected, my pawn can get him, the queen can get the knight. It's a good exchange. This guy cannot run. Dead from the bishop over here. Looked like a good move for a second. Here, not only would he be dead, but when the knight goes here, that's an attack on the queen, and the queen will have to move and run. No, that's it. This is the move to make. That knight has forfeited its life. Now wait, there is another move. We can move the bishop here, hitting both these squares. Matter of fact, this might be the way to do it. Oh, the bishop's not even on that line yet. We gotta move the bishop here, then see what he does. He won't kill immediately, but he will make this move. And if we get our bishop here, it's protected by the knight. The queen will run away by killing the knight, which we always knew was going to happen. Or we move here. This should stop him from making this attack. And we kill with the knight though, so that something's still protected. Either way, I think this is the pawn push was about getting this square. The bishop push gets both squares, so that's the move. And let's move on. Oh, coward! Now, this shape here, pawn structures are very interesting, and I'm doubled up, and that usually is not a good thing. See what's happening here? These two kings are going to be occupied with these pawns right here. This is a little storyline going on that has literally nothing to do with these here. Then we got these guys here. As these two pawns meet, it'll be a question of who takes who first and how far away. I could actually just move a pawn up right now, stop that advancement. Then this pawn will come on down. I'll take. This will come down. I'll take. So this I'm not worried about. I can handle that if the king doesn't fly over here. If he tries to do such a thing, this pawn will fall. This pawn will be inevitably promoted. So the first time he makes a step to any of these positions, that pawn's dead. That's how this story goes. You know how this story goes. Now, over here, neither of my pawns can move, but that's actually a good thing. He's going to come down, right? One assumes eventually. I take. He moves forward. Deadlocked. Here, it is possible that I'm left over with one pawn. However, he thinks the same thing, right? How is it possible that he will end up with a pawn going past? No, these two will be stuck. He will have to move. He will have to move. Then he dies. He has to move. He has to move. The only way this would flip around is if there were no more pawns and no more moves and I was forced to move up and he was already there. Then he'll take on his next go. Boom, you got it. I don't think that's going to happen. Another issue is that if I don't move something else, the king's got to move. And if the king strays too far, what we want to do is figure out how to trap this guy. If he moves over here, I can't move down. I can kill this pawn. So this is our move, and it's up to him. And he's going to try to move. When I've moved here, he's going to try to move real slow. He won't take that double jump into death. He'll make a move. I got to move. I'll move again. Got to make a move. He can take this move or that move. We know what happens here. So it's really a case of who's forced to make a move at what moment. So here's our best bet. Exciting. This is Ron Jamie. He's rated only at 400, but I am not necessarily whooping his ass. So let that be a bit of a lesson. Don't judge a book by its rating. Anyway. This looks like a Caro Khan gone wrong. Now see over here, this is usually when after the exchange there ends up being a knight on this square. I bring my knight from here to this square, he takes, I take, and that's how this little shape happens. And we really want to move our rook and have an open file for it. But right now, we're trying to look how to gain some ground, do something. If he takes here, and I take here, and he takes there, if I take, it opens up my knight here, and if he takes, there is that double pawns I can deal with, or maybe he'll get stuck right here. So the real question is, though, how can I harass that king? His dark bishop's over here. I can put my queen here, check, he closes up. Not necessarily the best move. And puncturing a hole here doesn't matter, because I don't want to give him a file open. Our light squared bishop is good, but he doesn't have any backup to be pointing over here. Usually this, usually you'll see this knight on this square, protecting that square, giving a nice little cozy spot for your bishop. But bishop don't have that right now. Well, what does he have? Can't move this way. He's blocked in. You know, we can do the whole thing. But isn't that just helping him develop right now? This is Wanks84, and he's rated 1171, and I don't know how to beat his arse, really. On this pawn thing, let him take, and I'm getting him for that. He takes again. Then we run. I think we need to do some sort of just regular development. In fact, that there's no point putting him in check if he gets immediately out of it. We need our bishop out. Let's go here. Actually, what? Yeah, maybe move this bishop out instead. And the reason I'm doing that is hopefully when this knight is forced to run and the queen is out in the board playing, we can castle queenside. Let's hope that that works out. Moving on. Wow, it's another Caro Khan gone wrong. Where's my knight? Would love to go here and stop him from doing all that, but you know what? Is it a bother? Is it? Well, what we'll do is say check. See what he does. He can run back, or he can move that pawn up. Moving the pawn up is great. It gives me a chance to run somewhere. Perhaps here even. I don't want to block him, my bishop. Anyway, moving on. It's been a while, guys. Getting a little numbed, a little soft in the head. I'm not thinking as sharp as I was when I first began moments ago, but we're still here. How can we bust up through this thing? This queen's not protected. How do we get here? Oh, like 7 moves in the game. Now I see why. I'm looking to sack more, so to speak. Sack more. But I broke open. Am I down? We're even, basically, it seems. The queen trade is okay, but it puts the pawn back on here, ready to be protected by these guys. I'd rather protect my queen. Let him take. Although, checkmate. Is that checkmate? No, but it isn't pretty. There's no way to protect the queen and stop that from happening. Unless I just run back to the throne room. We could just... No, you know, moving the knight out the way is cool, but it doesn't do anything for our queen. If I take, that stops all of that. And all those threats. But it puts the pawn back, which can't be taken by any piece that's out there currently. His black bishop is blocked in. We'd love to move this forward, but it'd kill my diagonal. Wait a second. What is going on? That sack was a fun move, exciting, like it. You know, go with the gusto, sack a piece, break the castle a little apart, but the queen's gone. Now I could protect, but like I said, if I protect, I'm seeing this move here. It's not good. King moves, queen captures that. I can come down here to stop that from happening, but then I lose the queen. Oh my goodness. I thought I was so clever, and all I did was cause my queen to die. Die she shall. We have... Oh! Ajala, and she began with this move here. Sorry, my brain just has gone A, B, C. So C3, which is the Van Geet opening, which I've never heard of. Don't know what it's about. But you did move out here. You should get pushed back. Now, what's she trying to do? Go here. I move, she goes here. She can attack from the back. Got this bishop, perhaps, to do some sort of thing here. That doesn't seem like it at all. How does this guy turn into an advantage? If I push up, he can now go here. Then maybe here? No, getting the F. Get the F. Maybe some sort of like quick the pawn moves, the queen. I do not know what's happening, but this is the second move. I'm looking to push that, and then push up this pawn, chase away the knight, and develop thereafter. That's the way. This is the way. This is Ajala with the Van Geet opening. Different from that now. I approached that last time with just a simple queen pawn push. This game I'm attempting to go into my Karo Khan. Karo Khan is my favorite. Not saying I'm good at it, but with this Van Geet opening, I don't know what's gonna happen, but let's carry on with the Karo Khan. What's going on here? I can't castle because this queen has got this diagonal. The king looks rather exposed, but isn't harassed. This knight really is doing nothing. It looks great to go here, but the bishop is holding down that square. I could take back here. There's two pawns protecting it. What is the immediate danger is if I take, she takes, check, pushes around. If I don't take, he can push down. That's not cool, but it's not too bad. If he takes, I take, check, and I lose. Can push the pawn up, protected by the rook right here, and not in danger. She can just move back and maintain this aggressive diagonal here. Matter of fact, So yeah, if I take, she takes. That's it. It's not it, but it's not good. We leave that there. They might take. If I take, I lose. I can take with the where you won't lose. Not a good situation for me there. And I'm wondering whether to take this guy out of it. He's not an immediate danger. She is. On the other hand, we'll see what you can do. You do take. I can take with this guy. She comes here to say check. Ugh, not good. She's gonna end up right there. This guy is on black. When it lands on white, it'll be attacking black. She's gonna be on white. And then there is this guy. This could be. So we'll take. They'll take back. Who cares which one and how? When this little thing happens, we'll have our knight to go here and provide a bit of shelter, so that. Why not do it now? Why not do it now? Because if I move here and this knight takes, queen takes, and the queen who will be here then takes. Like this. Like that. Like this. Now, getting this guy out the way, maybe it has some other advantages. The queen would already be here. You can still take. Then I can castle. This would allow me to castle. Hopefully. Hope is the plan you use when you don't have a plan. This is Halvor FT 1157 rating, and I think I'm going to go with this move. I'm not certain, but I'm going to make a move. Move on. Emma, what you been doing to me, Emma? Emma 167. Why you been trying to win? Gonna pin that bugger down and develop that bishop. Then gonna get the bishop out, pin down this knight to the queen. Develop this, protects my pawn whilst lets out my black bishop. Don't know where he'll go, whether it's here or here, but he will get out. Move this knight. It will make sense when we get there. And decide where to castle king side, we usually do. So that's it. A simple development move. This is Ariel Daichi. We were talking about this one. And I'm thinking, do I move here? Do I move here? Is there a benefit? The only benefit I see is afterwards moving up here, creating a little pawn string, but it will open him up on a horizontal. He does have a dark squared bishop here with the queen. I might try to pick off these two. I am not sure. I am not uncertain. Then again, should I not go ahead and start rushing the king side with my pawns? Why not? Why and why not? I am not certain. It seems safer just to move the king. There's no way the queen can be backed up to get in here. I think that's the way to go. 2 more moves to make. Oh goodness, was this the one where it was like, oh, how's he gonna move like this, and it's gonna move like that. Let me see. We knew he was gonna die. He is still alive. However, if if this guy goes here, then this goes here, I'm under attack. Can't do nothing about it. That knight is not only dead, it's caused the death of everybody else. Bloody bastard. What? I'm not gonna win this game here. How can I attack the queen now without recourse? Sir, you cannot. It will take too many moves. This all needs to happen in one move. He's gonna die. Sorry, I'm pointing at the screen. We've already got 2 more moves left. We're not gonna lose my queen. We already know that that guy's dead. We need to come at this completely different, and I don't know how. He's dead no matter what. There's no point trying to go for this guy. This guy's protected. I can't believe it, but I might have to run. Proper run. Oh, it looked like such a smart move in the beginning. Gonna move my bishop. He's gonna take. I'm gonna move. Then we castle. But he is gonna take. I've got nothing to attack down here. Goodness. Yeah, remember we said that this queen here is a nuisance, but not necessarily scary. We do gotta get our chaps out into the game. This is not a scary development. What are you aiming down at this guy? And if I'd done that double move, oh look at this, had I moved this pawn and then this pawn here to stop this diagonal, it would have been the queen, the knight, and the rook. And I'm not saying he's going to want to sack them, but if the knight takes the pawn that's there, then that's taken. Then that's taken, and we have no more. That's it. So we would only lose a knight. And then these 2 pawns would be gone and would be ripped open. So we're in a better position. Still can't get hold of these guys in the back. This diagonal is useless currently. We don't want to put him back here, then move the pawn and all this stuff. We want this guy out. He can't move anywhere at all. The queen, would be nice for her to come on out and play. Come on out and play, but if she moves now, this guy falls. So we probably just want to move him forwards. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is move this pawn. Only to let my... Can move this pawn, get my knight out, just as an added, person to fight. He can move his queen here to pylon. Can move his queen here to pylon. So either way, this is it. This is the move I'm making. Alright. Oh, 1 more move to go. No. That's it. That's it. Oh, good lord. I've got 65 games left. We made at least 1 move with every single one today. Now I'm ready to chill. There's been a real brain strain. Let me look at my stats right quick. What we got? 1244. And yeah, 1244 is that my highest in the last 30 days was 1229. So I've surpassed my highest for the month. Splendid. It's about time. Is that a streak I'm seeing? I do believe it is. There goes a win streak. Excellent. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm sure no one did. However, I'll be back maybe tomorrow, in the next couple of days, to do another 2 to 3 hour stream of me playing 82 games, or 66 games now. Thank you. Hit like and subscribe, all of that stuff, or don't. And I'll talk to you in the future. Bye.